ref does. He got the ball. Good morning, Tottenham fans, and it's the one we've all been waiting for. It is the North London derby, steeped in history, steeped in rivalry, with bragging rights and the pride of North London on the line, and I cannot wait for kickoff today. Every gunner is a runner. Let's not forget that. But we are joined by two guys. I don't know where the third is, so if anyone knows where Jose is, please send out the call. I've already tried ringing him and texting him and stuff like that, but please let us know where he is. But Soren, how are you, sir?
I was going to say something then, but your Irish accent with the third sounds so different. It doesn't come across as third. It's like, where's the turd? Well, it's down the toilet, mate, same as the Arsenal. It's JJ, baby!
Come on. I'm absolutely pumped. Massive game today. 3 points really could do with them to kickstart our season. Derma, how are you, sir?
I am fine. And to follow what Soren just said, Arsenal did build a stadium next to an open sewer. So Arsenal have always been a turd. So that's why they moved to North London, because they actually, you know, they were kicked out. They're travellers. They're not travellers. They're sitting in North London. Yeah, squatters, that's it. They're a bit like Del and Rodney out the Trotter family. They're sitting there selling stuff out in the back of their van. They should go back to South London where they belong and just leave North London to the proper North London club, which is us. We are going to prove today we are North London. North London forever belongs to Tottenham. Arsenal could go and do one.
Well, I do say that actually London should thank Tottenham, because without Tottenham, there's no rivalries in London. They're all hugging and kissing each other. It's absolutely embarrassing. So, it's a good job that Tottenham are in London to restore order around the place. But let's welcome some people in, and then let's crack on to it. We've got a lot to talk about today. Faz Radfire, big up. Good to see you. Big up, Dave and Jack, my favourite channel. Time to celebrate a big win against the big enemy. Minimum 3-1 Spurs. Come on. Terry Betts says, I really believe Spurs will win 4-2. Absolutely love that. Roy Viking, good to see you. 2-1. You heard it here first. Big up, boys, and come on, you Spurs. Shawnee Johnston says, this is the biggest game of the season and a must-win for Big Ange. And if we can get this one over the line, it will unite the fan base and spark our season into live 3-1 Spurs. I'm sort of along the same lines as that, Shawnee boy. We've got Danny Darko Spurs says, oi, come on, you Spurs. Big up, Dave and Jack. Massive game, 3-1 Spurs. It's a must-win today for me. Tottenham till I die. Well, we'll get into that conversation just in a minute, Danny. We've got True Pack says, True Pack, love that name, says, come on, you Spurs. In the big hands we trust. Let's beat the scum. We've got Ben Williams, 4-1 Spurs. We don't have a better chance, or we won't have a better chance. Definitely agree with that. Big up, Drewzilla. Good to see you. Big up, everyone. Can't wait for today. Really hope we do ourselves proud and the players don't get complacent. If we stick to the game plan and are solid at the back, we'll get this done. Come on, you Spurs. Definitely agree with that, Drew. Good to see you in the building, sir. We've got Spurs GCTV. Good morning, guys. Come on, you Spurs. Let's bloody go. Good to see you in the building as well. Hopefully you're keeping well. Big up Belgian Hotspur as well. Joris, great to see you. Morning, lads. Feeling pretty confident about today. Absolutely love that. We've got Gary Swams. Good to see you as always. Shamu in the house. Great to see you as well. He says draw probably today. Even their injuries, they still are a threat, especially with the high line. And then we've got Kerry King says, come on, you Spurs. Big game today. We can do this. That's Don Robbie's famous one, isn't it? We can do this. Oh, absolutely brilliant. Paddy Harnick, great to see you. No, it wasn't actually. I was waiting for Dermot to show up, and still waiting on Jose to show up. Also, I was up late last night. My sister had her baby early hours in the morning, so I'm an uncle for the second time. So if we win today, her father's a Liverpool fan, so I can always say to him, this is the day, Tottenham battered Arsenal, so it'd be nice to get the double today. Big up, Paddy. Great to see you. Alberto says, when the Dave goes streaming in, I want to be in that number. Come on, you Spurs. Great to see you. Then we've also got Paul in the house. Morning game day. Come on, you Spurs. Let's show the Arsenal who runs North London. Big up, Dave and panel. Let's go. Good to see Adrian Schrock in the house as well. Spurs diehards, Tottenham till I die. Make sure you get over, check out the channel. Quincy B, great to see you. Banjo, Ghosted, as always, good to see you. We've got Steven Seagal, says the beginning of the end for Ange today. Look, we'll probably touch on that. We'll let people have their say on it. Some people would say it's very, very harsh. Some people would say, look, pressure's on, so let's see where everyone sits. Great to see Jack Bloom in the house as well. We've also got Finn Rickwood. Good to see you. Wembley 1. Morning, everyone. That's That's sick as a dog. Empty, gassy feeling in the stomach is there. Oh yes, it's not London Derby. Please let it be over with. Look, I absolutely can't wait. These are the fixtures I live for, my man. Absolutely live for. Got Patrick McCrory in the house, 5:40 a.m. here. Good morning. Let's effing go. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Patrick. Great to see you. Hopefully you're keeping well. Good to see you in the house. Shem Tam as well. As always, good to see you. Good morning, Dave Soren and the mighty Dermatron. Jose, I heard, wasn't feeling well. Hopefully he's better and will be on the show. I didn't know that. Well, if he is not feeling too good, we wish him the best of health. We've got Ryan Trestain. Good to see you. He says he's losing 3-0. We'll come to Dermot shortly, Rhino. And Dante says, morning all. How are we? Good to see you in the house. Hopefully you're keeping well. K32 as well. Good morning, everyone. No confidence today after loss to Newcastle. Hopefully I'm wrong. And then we've also got Mark Satoshi in the house. Big up Dave Dermotron and Soren from Melbourne. Good to see you, Mark. We've also got Wilson T, Andy English, DYT2, Burptoff's Halftime Smoke, Ribsy. We've got Lee Moody in the house. Good to see you all. Really appreciate everybody tuning in. Lee Neri, Joff as well, TR, Jimmy Hotspur. Jeez, everyone's in the house today. Everyone is in the house. And Dan Coy's great to see you. Loads of people in the house. It's absolutely great to see. Dark Sun G also says, come on, you Spurs, 3 points today. Also, Liverpool lost to Forest. Lol. Look, huge that Liverpool lost to Forest. Yeah, time for us to capitalize on it, Postecoglou, we'll get on to this as well. Did say he wants to challenge for the title this year. Or why can't we challenge for the title this year? So Liverpool dropping points. These are the games today where we have to take advantage of it, especially with Arsenal's injuries, Dark Song G. Let's bloody go, my man. Absolutely love it. And then he also says, we can run past Partey and Jorginho with ease. Come on, you Spurs. Look, the thing is with Jorginho and Partey, they're both very good players to step in. They're not going to be at it from the very off. Especially in Jorginho's case, it's going to be a bit of match sharpness there. And if I'm correct, didn't Maddison pick his pocket last year at the Emirates? For me, start with really high intensity, especially with players being out. Get at them nice and early and go and look to score inside the first 10, 15 minutes and capitalize on him not really being as match sharp, I would say. Dark Sun G, big yourself up, sir. Good to see you in the building. How's your dad after the Liverpool loss yesterday? Please do let me know. But Soren, big game today, brother. How are you feeling ahead of North London Derby? You excited or a bit on the edge?
Of course, I'm excited. I mean, it's the game we all kind of wait for. The nerves haven't kicked in yet. Definitely not. I'm still well positive. The nerves will kick in about half an hour before the match when I sit down ready to watch it. Look, it's the North London Derby. Form goes out of the window. Doesn't matter who we're playing. Doesn't matter what teams are put out. If the players don't come out and play for the badge today, then they don't want to be playing for this club. If the fans can't get behind the club today, they shouldn't be supporting the club. It's as simple as that. It's game day. It's our big game of the season. Let's not forget that. It's not going to define our season, but it will define the rest of the day and the rest of the week and the next few weeks for mood and the shit we either get or the shit we give out. It's the big one. I always sit there and say football isn't life or death. Today it is, innit? It's all about that bragging rights. It's all about going into work tomorrow. It's all about being with family today. We don't want to be sitting there, just don't want to talk to anybody. It's that kind of mood, that kind of feeling is the worst feeling in the world if we lose today. So today, a draw minimum, but let's go spank their ass.
Well, look, that brings me on to maybe a follow-up question here for you then, Soren. With Arsenal missing key players today, like Rice, Odegaard, Tomiyasu, Moreno, Tierney's out as well. Do you think a draw would be acceptable today? Or is this a must-win for Spurs? And people in the comments, let me know as well.
Look, I mean, we look at things, and if it was the other way around, we'd be saying, look, we've got players out, we still go out, and if the team play, and if you've got your team playing as a squad rather than just a first 11, then it shouldn't matter if there's some players out. And we know what it's like going and playing that team. Look, if the big players are out, then we should be looking to win. But to me, it doesn't matter who they put on the pitch. We still should be looking to win. But a draw is better than a loss any day. I mean, we've been there in the past where we've had our players out and we've gone somewhere and it's like, oh well, we've got players out, we've done this, we've done that. It's all the excuses in the world, but look, you've got to play who's in front of you, and it's like we've said before on streams that if our main players are out, we expect those backup players to come in and do a job, and it'll be the same for them. If their main players are out, those players that are coming in will be hungry. They won't want, that they've got something to prove. So it doesn't matter who we're playing that team, and we've got to play. It's as simple as that. If we play, it doesn't matter who they put on the pitch. We can beat them on our day. So look, if the players are out, I still wouldn't be surprised if obviously Rice won't make it, but it wouldn't surprise me if Odegaard's on the pitch. It would not. Unless he's definitely out. I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard today.
I think it was a 50-50. They said late fitness test, didn't they?
I mean, how many times have we done that? No, he's not going to play. He's not going to play, and then they've lined up. So look, we play who we play. There'll be 11 players on the pitch for them to start with anyway. Let's hope it might not finish with 11 for them, but we've got to play the 11, and I don't care who's on the pitch. I just want to win them. Full stop.
I'll tell you, if Odegaard does make the pitch, they must be paying that Norwegian doctor then to come out and put out false information, which then needs to be investigated if he makes the pitch today. But Dermot, a lot of people, in the comments are saying, look, this is a must-win. And Paddy Harnett says, look, even if it's not a must-win, it's not a must-lose. Where do you stand on the North London Derby today, Dermot?
I want to go back to the 12th of May, 2022, how the stadium was that night.
Rocking.
It was hot. It was rocking. It was hostile. It was toxic. And I remember coming onto your pre-match show and saying it had to be toxic, but fairly, not nasty, but toxic in a banter way. And we've got to do the same today. We didn't do it last season. We were 3-0 down within 20 minutes. We've got to make that. Yeah, we've got to make that stadium so hostile. So hostile that when them Arsenal players come out, they do not want to be out on that pitch. They're going to want. I want us to go back to that time under Conte, where them Arsenal players come out and they look scared. They looked absolutely, genuinely scared. They got a player sent off within the first 20 minutes, and then it was a Tottenham win. We've got to go. Today means everything to me. I don't care about the other 36 games I care about. This one I care about the most. I've come on here after a North London defeat and nearly been in my boots because I hate losing to Arsenal. I hate it. It's the most horriblest feeling. Losing to them bunch of scabby right squatters.
Easy now, Dermot.
Squatters that have squatted in North London since 1919. I hate losing to them. And I want to win today so badly. 3 points today. A, puts us back into a bit of a title race, which everyone is at the moment. B, it takes the pressure off Ange and gets the fans united. And C, it puts us all in a great mood for the coming to the next North London derby. Tottenham Hotspur is white and blue. North London is white and blue. Always has been, always will be. It's one win out of the last 5. But we can do it today. And Ange will tell them that. We know what a Celtic Rangers derby's like, Dave. And we know how much these mean to Dave. And Ange is right in his press conference. I want to win every game, mate. He wants to win this game more than anybody. Because he wants to stick it up to them Arsenal fans. It's the same when he was a Celtic fan. He wants to stick it up to them Rangers fans. It's a win today. It's not a must win. It's got to be a win. Because anything less for me it's a loss. Even the draw is a loss for me today.
Just reading a comment from Sava. Sava, the quad is on, man. The quad is on. Don't get,
it is
still on, man.
Yeah, cheers football, cheers Sava. I had to put it in, Sava. I'm sorry, I had to put it in. But look, everyone, it's got to be a win today. We cannot lose. We cannot damn well lose. Don't you dare lose.
Do you know what, for me, and then we'll come down and check in on Jose. When you look at Arsenal now with a lot of the injuries they have, there's no better time for us to start turning the tide in North London back towards us. We bet them under Conte, the game you're alluding to, Dermo. But since then, they've had the upper hand in North London derbies. And you're not going to get a better opportunity than today at home when they're missing key players to turn them over and start putting it back in our favor. And to be honest with you, I think it would be a missed opportunity if we don't go and beat them today. And I do think it's a must win. I think it's a must win for, various reasons. I think if we win today, I think Postecoglou buys himself a bit of time. I think he buys himself a bit of buy-in from the board, from the players, from the staff, from the fans, most importantly. And I think we'll go on a little run. A win in the North London derby can push you on to do special things. When we thumped their asses 5-1 in the cup back in 2008, when we lifted that cup, we went on to beat Chelsea in the final. That's the sort of boost that these victories can give you. I also think we derail Arsenal's season a little bit. They've got Man City coming up next week. If they lose the 2 games, their title race is over and done with. It's a long way for them to be able to claw that back. But not only that, I think it's about time we start putting pressure on these guys to start bloody delivering. It's what we're all here for. We want to go and win trophies. Andrew said it himself. He wants to go and win trophies, try and get in a title challenge. The players have said it themselves. If you want to win trophies, these are the sort of games you have to turn up and win. These are the sort of games that can set your season into motion. So today, for me, I think for Postecoglou's sake, I think it's a must win, because if we lose this, and we've got a cup game Wednesday night away from home, where our away form is absolutely atrocious. 2 games fans will not tolerate losing. It's a North London derby at home and a cup game midweek. And I think you lose this, I think it sort of takes us a while to recover, and it puts a lot of pressure on Ange Postecoglou. So I think for Tottenham Hotspur and for this project going forward, I think this is a must-win today for Tottenham. Some may say it's a bit dramatic, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Jose, how are you, sir? Are you feeling all right today? Someone said you might be a little unwell.
Yeah, I've got I think I've got a throat infection. I had to give up my ticket today.
Oh, no, lad.
Gutted, but
no,
such is life. I have to live and fight and battle another day. But how are you? How is everyone? Everyone all right today?
Yeah, I'm good. I just, honestly, you don't have to do the stream, Jose. I didn't know you weren't well in that. It's,
I'm all right. It probably perked me up, to be honest.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But look, how are you feeling coming into today's North London derby then, Jose? Is the pressure on? Is it a must win?
I'm slightly a bit different to everyone. I look forward to every game that we play. It doesn't matter whether we're playing Derby County or Arsenal. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, looking at the games that went yesterday and looking at the season ahead, still got another 35 games to play, 34 after today. But looking at the table already, if you want to keep up with the Joneses and be in and around the mix for things, then you need to be picking up 3 points in every game that you play, really, or the majority of the games that you play. So, yeah, today you can look at 2 ways. You can say that, we pick up 3 points, we go into 6th position. I think we're going to we pick up 3 points, and we also go on to the same points as Arsenal, but we'll probably have a better goal difference if we get a victory, even by 1 goal. But then equally, if you lose the game today, you remain on 4 points, and then the gap suddenly appears to be a big one after 4 games. Although it's a long season, so yeah, today is an important game. It's not an easy game. It never has been an easy game. We go to them, they come to us. Never easy games, and it's about who turns up on the day and who gets the best of it on the day. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it'll measure to see how long we've come, where we are after 3 games of the season. Where will we be after today? The fans again. I think Dermot was saying it. The fans again are going to be really important at the game. They seem to raise it as well against Arsenal. They seem to raise the roof compared to other games that we play. And I was looking for the experience of being on the roof today, but alas, it's not to be.
Disappointed, that you gave up your ticket. It's sad, but look, Jose, hopefully, we can win the game in front of the telly for
Yeah.
you while you're sitting there having some soup or sodas or whatever, to ease the pain of the throat, my man. Really appreciate you turning up today as well, brother. Really do. Big up, Lokeman, as well. Good to see you. Got a couple of chats here, and then we'll progress with this conversation. Dark Sun G says also it was at Anfield. What a shambolic loss, a Liverpool fan perspective. Their first loss to Forest in 55 years. More understandable for us to lose to Newcastle. Yeah, look, it was a bad loss for Liverpool yesterday. Nobody was expecting them to lose them sort of games. That Dark Sun G, and all the talk before it was a title race, and then they go and lose that, and they had the chances as well. They just didn't take them. Look, for us, I'm not sure if it's more understandable. I think at some point we have to man up going up to Newcastle away and break that curse, get that result, It has to be done. We have to start picking up points off these top 6 teams. Even if we don't win it, don't lose it. We have to start. But also, heading into today's game, last year we got bollocks. We got bollocked at Newcastle away. And we went into North London Derby. We were 3-0 down after 38 minutes last season. I mean, for this game today, heading into this game, we have to show resilience in defeat. We have to rock up there today, turn up, and put in a really good performance, Dark Sun G. And hopefully we can do that. Big up, my man. We've got Faz Radfar says, with or without Odegaard, we will win, but he is out. Arteta lies. Well, the Norwegian doctor said he'd be out for 3 weeks minimum, so let's wait and see what happens there. Maybe there is an element. One of them are trying to keep us guessing. If Odegaard is out, it's a huge loss for them. Not only does he trigger their press, but I think he's created and scored some of the most goals since his arrival. I think there's only 5 players that have done more than him, key passes and stuff like that. He's an absolute crucial loss for them if he is out today. It'd be huge for Tottenham Hotspur. Dark Sung G also says Gunners will lose to City because Haaland has 9 goals in 4 games. I mean, he's in my fantasy team. He's picking me up points at a rapid pace right now, setting me above the rest. He's got me in the top 5. That's just where I need to be. He is a freak of nature, the amount of goals he's scored. If we had him, we'd go and win everything. Dark Sun G would win everything. There wouldn't even be talk about our back line. He'd be banging goals for sport. And he also says, who's the ref for today? And VAR. Just give me 2 seconds, Dark Sun G. I will bring them up for you. I think if I'm right, it's Stuart Atwell. Gerard Gillet is the referee today, actually, Dark Sun G. And Stuart Atwell is the guy in VAR today. By the way, Arsenal fans are moaning about the point of Gerard Gillet, which is good. I think he was in charge for the Wolves game at the start of the season. And then I think there was a couple of games last season. They're very unhappy with his officiating. With him also being Australian, be nice for him to do us a favour, because last year Michael Oliver may as well have wore a bloody Arsenal kit refereeing that game, Dark Sun G. So big yourself up, my man. And so yeah, any stats on them, please do let me know, lad. And then I think we've got one just after coming in here from Sava, and he says, this is huge. We have to start winning games and putting a run of form together. Ange gets a lot of plaudits, so let's see that on the pitch. Come on, you Spurs. Soren, you're liking this attitude from Sava?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, there's a lot me and Sava disagree on, and I think there's nothing he said today that I cannot disagree on. Everything he said is spot on. And look, I mean, everybody knows I'm quite a positive person, and I'm fully behind Ange and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I think it is time that we've kind of seen it this season where we've played well and got nothing. And, we haven't set the world on fire yet, but you try to look at it and think that we are improving in ways. And today is one of those days where you just hope that he can come out, motivate these players to, as soon as that whistle blows, that we come out and do it. I mean, let's go back a year or so when we played Arsenal and we got told if Tottenham come and play that game, they're going to get battered. And I think it was a draw. The Arsenal fans suddenly crawled back under their rock. And that's the sort of attitude we need again today. We need the crowd. We just need everything to work today. We just need, that everything to be perfect, that magic of supporting Tottenham, of being in the ground, of being a player for Tottenham, wearing the badge. We just need it all to come together today. And yeah, we've me included, and a lot of other people are saying, look, Angie's starting to get it right. And this is what Sava's saying, that today's the day that we need to see it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, you know, and I know I might be one of them if we go out and lose, and we'll come up with excuses and things like this. But today is not about losing. Today is just not about losing. Today is about coming out and showing what we can do. I mean, I think, you know, a lot's been said about last year. I don't think we won a top 16 hardly, you know, away from home and things like this. And today's, you know, the first day where we're going to play one of the big teams. And look, I'm not going to go as far as saying we're in a title race, because we are until we're not. It's the same for every team. But today is a day where it shows whether we are a team or not. And look, you know, people are out there shouting for Ange to go. I don't get it. I think we've got to give him time and we've got to get behind him. Don't think.
Can I ask you another question, Soren?
Yeah.
Do you think today could be make or break for a make or break moment for Ange Postecoglou's tenure at Tottenham?
No, I think that's a two-part answer. I don't think he's under pressure from the board. I think he has the full backing of the board. Will it be a make or break day for him from the fans? No, because they're already after his blood. So those that don't want him there are already going to be shouting anyway, whether he loses or not. So it's not the only thing. It'll shut them up for a few days if we come out and win. But I don't think he's under pressure yet. I'm not saying he's not going to be, because, you know, if we lose today and we keep on losing, of course he's going to be under the pressure. It doesn't matter who the manager is. If you don't win games, football's about winning games. The thing that, you know, there are a lot of fans out there, and so, you know, there's different reasons for not wanting him, and I get some of the arguments, but others are just there to moan about him, and they're the ones that are, you know, that are putting the pressure on. It's not coming from the majority of the fans. It's not coming from the board. It's coming from those that don't want him in. And yes, with some fans, they're looking at it and thinking, look, you know, we're not seeing any improvement. And I get that argument. Others are just there saying, look, I don't want him. I don't like him, full stop. That's where the pressure's coming from. He'll still be here for a while, yeah. I don't think if we come out today, if we come out today and we lose 10-0, that's a different, you know, that is a different argument. But as long as the team shows up, then we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. Let's not go there. But going back on another point Sava made, you know, he'll take a point right now. And I get that argument from a lot of fans. I really do.
It's very defeatist of Sava.
But it's not. I don't think it is defeatist from Sava. I think I get exactly where his argument is coming from. That, you know, we're all full of confidence. I think the take a point now argument is we don't have to put up with the shit from them lot down the road. My argument is you know, I want to go out there and win. You know, I don't want to draw, but yeah, I kind of get where he's coming from, and I think a lot of fans probably will be on that would take a draw now, but I think you and Dermot summed it up, and it's just a must not lose game. Whatever happens, we must not lose.
No, 100%. 100%. I mean, Dermot, we'll come to you, get you in on this conversation. I mean, Lily White India says make or break. Okay, we get Ange out, then what? Get another one and expect immediate results. What if he fails? Get another one. The time we are willing, this time we should be willing to give a new coach, you know, time, especially Ange Postecoglou, he says.
Yeah. I am sick to death of sacking managers and sacking managers and sacking managers and sacking managers. We've got Ryan in the chat, put Poch in. Well, Poch is managing the United States of America, so he ain't going to leave. He ain't coming back. And I don't want him back. Because Poch, for me, as good as he was, is a loser. He didn't win us anything. He got us to finals and couldn't get us over the line. We sacked a manager 5 days before a cup final that could have won us a trophy. We need to back Ange Postecoglou. We have to give him time. The last time we gave a manager time was Pochettino, and look where he took us. He didn't win us anything, and for me, he's a loser in that way. But he took us nearly to the promised land. We need to give managers time. Any manager we have given time at Tottenham, they've won something. Keith Birkinshaw, if he got us relegated in 77, we might as well have sacked him the following season. But we didn't. And what did he do? He got us back up in 77, 78, and then went on to win 2 FA Cups and the UEFA Cup. You could have sacked Harry Venables after some of the matches people come for. He said, went on to win us an FA Cup in 91. We could have, Bill Nick. It took Bill Nick 2 or 3 years to build the double winning side. He was there for 16 years. 8 of them years he won trophies. So you give managers time to win stuff. You look at the great Liverpool sides of the 80s. You look at Sir Alex Ferguson at Man United. They're going to sack him after 6 years. Would have won and look what happened. He took them on. He won everything in the game. Look at Liverpool. You stick by a manager, they win you stuff because their philosophy, their what they think of the game does imprint on the club, does imprint on the players that go out and play that game. So I've got to give Ange time. And I think this. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say to you, I think the thing with this is, if we were losing game after game after game and looking absolutely terrible, then the argument comes in that you've got to get rid of the manager.
Yeah, of course.
But there is plenty to look at with Ange from my point of view, and I'm not saying everybody sees it the same way as me, but there's plenty to look there and think, why would we sack him? It's not disastrous.
No, I mean, I'm a massive Celtic fan as well, and I know everyone says the Scottish League is not as good as the Premier League. The Scottish League, you've got to beat what's in front of you up there. You've got to beat Rangers to win the league. And that's another argument for another day. But when he came into Celtic were in a mess. Dave, you would agree with me on that. They were absolutely in a mess. Ange turned them round and turned them round to an attacking big force again. And this is what he's doing at Tottenham. It takes time. You can't turn. You had to get the deadwood out to get new players in. It can't do everything overnight. It takes time. And we've got to give this manager time. And I understand that people want him out. If they want him out, you're never going to change their mind. So them the ones that you say, well, you've got your opinion. We respect your opinion. But Ange will prove you wrong. And that's what I want. I want Ange to prove him wrong. And I guarantee you, the majority of the Spurs fans within that stadium today are not Ange out. They're all Ange in. It's the people that just never liked Ange from the beginning want him out. And whatever he does, even if he wins a trophy, are they going to be celebrating with us? When great, Ange is wonderful. Yeah, but you wanted Ange out for the last 4 years. Or 3 years or 2 years. So you're never going to change everyone's mind. Today is a day he can put a lot of it to rest and beat Arsenal. He knows what a derby's about. He's managed the biggest derby in the world. This is the second biggest derby in the world. He will win today. He will prove the doubt is wrong. Ange will take us to the promised land. I have no doubt in that, in my opinion.
No, I agree with you guys. For me, I would like to give Ange Postecoglou time. I think we have to realize, losing Harry Kane, look at the hole it's left us in, over the last year or so. It's a huge player to lose. And, look, I'm not enamored with the signings in the forward line either. And I just think it's going to take a little bit of time, a little bit of, time for it all to gel. The amount of injuries that we suffered last season as well. And look, we finished 5th last season. I think, because we're so impatient as a fan base because we want trophies, which rightly so, by the way. It's been a long, long time. I think any manager that walks in now, immediately after 1 year, if they don't look like they're going to win anything, immediately we want them out and we put the pressure on them. For me, when you look at over the last few years, the teams that have gone on to challenge Man City, Liverpool gave Jurgen Klopp time to build it. They had to go through some rocky periods. Arsenal now, I know him winning the FA Cup probably bought him a little bit of grace, but my point is they've given him time to build it, to put it in this direction. And for me, I think that's what we need to do as a club. I don't think we can keep hiring and firing managers, but saying that, it's a results-based business, and results have to start following them very, very quickly. We have to understand, we haven't been on a great run since October last year. You go into this season, we've won one, drawn one, lost one. Yes, we're getting plaudits for playing great football. But if you want to go on and win stuff, You have to finish teams off. You have to become killers. And that's where our big problem is. And I do think with the way we start this season and the football we're playing, I think it will click eventually. Will it click in time, though? Let's wait and see. Jose, where are you at with it? Oh, my man.
Yeah, I've got my feet in a bit of all three of your camps. Yeah, it's a result. It's a result business, and yeah, you have to start winning games. You start after getting the 3 points, and you need to do them on a more consistent basis, not in fits and bursts, and that's what you're building towards. The other part of me is I went to the Everton game. I spoke to loads of people at the stadium, and I speak to loads of people that are not on social media and stuff like that, and they are. I'd say you've got 95% of the fan base are behind Ange. And it just seems to be parts and pockets of social media that have agendas to Ange. So it's the same as some people. Some people don't want the manager. Some people don't want a player. Some people don't want a person from the board. Some people don't want the whole board. So, everyone's got their own reasons as for why. But being at the ground, like I said, and people that are not on social media, 95% of the people behind Ange. Now, at the end of the day, as I said, it is about winning matches and winning games of football and becoming more consistent. Yeah, it doesn't mean that I've said on record that for the first 3 games of this season, we look better football-wise in the way we're playing than the first 3 games of last season, and we were unbeaten last season. But we didn't finish our dinner against Leicester. We finished our dinner against Newcastle. So that's what we need to start doing. We need to start converting this and then picking up the 3 points over and over and over again. And I'm hoping that today's that. Ange, for me, is not under pressure as yet. But like anything, it's a results business. You've got to start picking up points and on a consistent basis.
It's all about taking your chances. If we took on chances against Leicester, if we took on chances against Newcastle, we'd be sitting there with 9 points. It's all about taking our chances. And the Premier League is a vicious league. If you don't take your chances, you will lose. And it's all about, and we didn't have a striker against Newcastle. Let's not forget that. We didn't have anyone up there. So, and look, you saying about Harry Kane, Dave, right? The same thing happened with Bill Nick when Jimmy Greaves went from Tottenham to West Ham. We were lucky we had Martin Shivers come in. Well, Martin Shivers came in a little after, but Harry Kane is a once-in-a-generational striker. You'll never see the likes of him again. He was our Jimmy Greaves. Like Jimmy Greaves was a once-in-a-generation striker. So when a player of that ilk leaves your club, you're going to have a massive hole. It doesn't matter who comes in, because they're never going to be big enough to fill them boots. So we have to unearth our next Harry Kane. Solanke is a man that's going to hopefully get us goal. But you lose a once-in-generational striker. I don't care who you get in. It's never going to be good enough to fill the boots that were there before. And with Jimmy Greaves, it was the same with him. But lucky enough, Martin Shivers came in and sort of replicated what Jimmy Greaves did, not in the same way, but we had a big enough striker to sort of fill his boots. We haven't had a big enough striker to fill Harry Kane's boots, and that's the problem.
And that's the thing. I think the partnerships up across the forward line, they're taking their time to sort of form. In years gone by, we had Son and Kane, and they could set each other up. And, with Tottenham, we don't really have that right now. Our front trio, I'd argue, a lot of them are playing like individuals, and I just think they need time to bed in. But then it comes down to, boys, the critics, where is it? What's my question? 1 second. But, basically the critics, are saying that Ange is getting it wrong and that, he's stubborn, he's persisting with no signs that Postecoglou will sort of address it, while Ange Postecoglou insists the results will come. So where are we at, boys? That in terms of the performances, do you sit on Ange Postecoglou's side or the critics' side? Do you think with the way, because against Leicester we dominated that game for 60 odd minutes, should have been out of sight before they went and scored. Everton dominated, and Newcastle again. We had a massive period in that game where we should have been out of sight before they even went and got, the winning goal. So, do we agree with Postecoglou then that the performances will eventually start bringing results?
Well, this was what he said. He alluded to this last season, and as I said, I've already said the first 3 games. I think we're playing better than we did the first 3 games. The press has improved 1,000,000% from the first 3 games I've seen. Being at the stadium for the Everton game, you get to see the game totally differently because obviously on TV they're just showing you where the ball is. They don't show you what's in front or behind it. It just moves with the ball. But watching the game, you could see the patterns of play, what we're trying to build. You could see the overloads, and sometimes we weren't using the overloads. You could see the runs that people were making and sometimes not being found. At the end of the day, it the football has improved. Well, for me, the pattern and what we're doing has improved, and I can see what it is that we're doing. But you've got to put it, or you've got to put your chances away. To win games, you've got to outscore your opponent. Whether we like it or not, that's how you win a game. You win 1-0, you can win 4-3. You just need to outscore an opponent. And what we're not doing, and it's weird that we're saying this because we've played 3 games and we scored 6 goals. But unfortunately, in 2 of those games, we've only scored 1 goal in each game, and it didn't get us the 3 points. We got a point and we lost the game. So we need to start scoring more. So people say you're only as good as your last game, confidence and stuff like that. And yeah, the goals start coming for certain players, then their confidence builds up for the games that are still to come. And for me, yeah, it's about getting that consistency. It's about getting it right. Do what you're what you're being asked to do, i.e., with the press and stuff like that. Do all that on a consistent basis. Learn it, do it, and you're doing it, all the time. And it becomes second nature, which is what you want. But what we need to start doing is, and who knows whether he's found his best formula yet? Who knows whether Ange knows that he's best 3 or best 3 in midfield or best 3 up front. Once you get all that right and you do start clicking, then hopefully we'll start seeing more and more goals, and the goals will win you games. Score more than another team, that will win you a game. And at the end of the day, I sit on the side of, yeah, and there's improvements that we need to make, but I can see the improvements already. I'm not blasé and closing my eyes to the improvements that I've already seen them in front of my own eyes. And then there's people who turn and say, but we made the same mistakes last year. We do the same things. No, I've seen differences already. Let's be fair about it. It's a small sample size. I know 3 games, but the improvements, I've seen them with my very own eyes already.
No, fair. I think set pieces is one of them, an area that he's been heavily criticised and that he's starting to improve on. Soren,
But you know what? He doesn't come out on camera and say to everybody, yeah, we've been working on our set pieces. And because he doesn't say things like that, then people are always going to say, well, we're not doing anything different, are we? So at the end of the day, and look, any manager in the Premiership, and it doesn't matter whether you're at the top of the Premiership, bottom of the Premiership, or in the middle, you work with your guys on a daily basis out on your respective training pitches, and you do make improvements, and you do try to get your team better, and you do try and iron out mistakes. It's bloody obvious you do that in any walk of life, but you don't have to go and tell people that you're doing it.
Can I just say very quickly, Ange will evolve, and he has evolved from last season. You look at the way we've played this season in the first 3 games. We've actually played pretty well. And it's all about, as I said before, taking your chances. And Ange will get it right. Ange will evolve as a manager. He's not as stubborn as everyone thinks he is. He's evolving. He's tweaking. All managers would tweak. You're telling me Klopp got it right in his first couple of years at Liverpool when he lost 2 or 3 finals in a row. He evolved as a manager and tweaked it. Alex Ferguson, all great managers, and Ange will be a great manager, will tweak it and will evolve. They have the know-how, and he's not stubborn. And I get so frustrated when people say, oh, he's stubborn. He won't change. We're playing the Tottenham way. Please tell me, when we were playing on the Conte Marino, were we all sort of all happy and shooting from the rooftops? This is the football we wanted. We were bored out of our skull. Me and Dave went to the AC Milan game. And that game will stick in my head for the rest of my game. I remember sitting after that game, disillusioned with my club. And just brought passion back to me. But what it means to be a Tottenham fan. What it means to support my club. And we need to let him evolve. We need to let him change. Not every manager is going to get it right. Not every manager is going to get it spot on. But he will evolve, and Ange will get it right. You know what I mean, Dave? That game that night. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not. You know how you felt afterwards. You, me, and Jack said nothing to each other going back after that game. We were all disillusioned, and they want to go back to that. And people that want Ange want to go back to that. Well, fine, you can go back to that. I don't.
Fair enough. Fair enough, Dermot. Soren, and then this last question I'm going to ask on it, and then we're going to move on, start getting into talking about what we want to see lineup-wise. But Soren, you know, many Spurs fans do have a concern about the way our slow start to the season, 4 points from a possible 9. Or do the performance, are you concerned about the slow start to the season, or do the performance give you confidence for the rest of this season?
I think you can look at it two ways. If we go back to last season, we were kind of unbeatable almost in the first 10 games, and the season dropped off. So what's wrong with going the opposite way and having a slower start and building up on the season? But am I concerned? No, because we haven't been thumped off the pitch. You know, we've kind of lost the games ourselves, and you know, it's like Josie and Tron's already said, the improvements are there. You can see that the system is starting to kind of evolve a little bit. It's not quite the same football we saw last year. We're closing down well, and let's not forget, last year Ange Postecoglou had a team that weren't his. This year, in theory, if we're to go by what he said, these are now his players, or you know, some of them are his players. He's building the team with his players, and he's getting the type of player in that he wants. So you kind of look forward now and think, right, you know, we need to start seeing it gel. We need to start seeing results. I mean, we all know football is a results-driven game, and I think the only thing, the system that he plays is always going to concede goals. The only thing that we're kind of missing at the moment is goals for us. We are not putting away our chances.
Yeah.
Go back to these first 10 games last season. Everybody was scoring. You know, we were putting away the chances. Goals were coming from defence, from midfield. Not even the strikers were even scoring at the first 10 games. It was all midfield and defence. That's where we need to get back to. We need to get back to that ball hitting the back of that net. And hopefully today's the start of that. And am I concerned about the football? No. But I do get where others are, you know, looking at it. And I think the big problem is, had we been winning something over the last 23 years, and this is the argument that everybody's got, history and history and history, 23 years of nothing. Had we won 3 or 4 more trophies, we wouldn't all be talking like this now. That's the problem. And, you know, if we go ahead and hopefully win a trophy this season, it might calm things down. If we start to look as though we can push for a trophy or push for the title, I'm not saying we're going to win it this year, but we need to be in the race for it. And it's got to start sometime. And if we start seeing that, hopefully Solanke starts today and he starts putting the goals in the back of, you know, the ball in the back of the net, that's the start. And we can build on that. Then we start looking at the defence. Yes, sometimes we argue that the defence should be the first thing you look at, and all winning teams have a good defence. We've got the players on the pitch. We've just got to put it into practice.
No, I agree. Like, I think we've got a decent enough squad. Do we have enough to go on and, you know, get over the line and win a Premier League? I don't think so. But I do think we've got a decent enough squad to be able to show progress from last season. And I think it's just waiting maybe for Dominic Solanke to come in today, bag his opportunities and really kick us on. You know, one thing we've really missed under Ange Postecoglou is having that proper out-and-out number 9 out there consistently. You even brought in Solanke against Everton, you know, missed a couple of chances, didn't look exactly match sharp to me, and you could probably put that down to it. But then he comes injured, you know, and you haven't had him for a couple of games. And I think if we've learned anything from last season, that striker is very important to this system. So hopefully we can get a run of games into Sri Lanka, and hopefully he can start bagging some goals for us. Because you were talking about the 10-game run when he first came in. Like, I think people forget we were still conceding a lot of chances on our goal and stuff like that, but we were scoring enough goals to put points on the board. And, that's all people really cared about back then. And I think, it's about, I think we need to start getting back to the same. I would say, though, going forward, if we do want to get into a title race, you do have to start showing the ability to keep more clean sheets than what we do. You look at us, for instance, when we were in title races, Jan, Toby, Walker, Rose. What was it? I think at Roy Hart Lane, we kept the record. Was it 17 out of 18 games? Something like that. We kept clean sheets in, or we kept 17 that season across the whole season. You look at Arsenal, look at the amount of improvement they've made to keep clean sheets. We do have to start keeping some clean sheets if we really do want to take that extra step, go that extra mile. So that is something that, once he gets his forward line right, I think he needs to sort of look at personally. But guys, we will move on.
Can I just quickly?
Yeah.
Sorry. Savage just sort of put, Solanke scoring doesn't stop us, help us defending. I think it's a two-way thing. And from what you kind of look at, the first 10 games where we were scoring, the whole team was doing the press and we was getting the ball back quick. We were stopping the others from having the ball and having as many chances to score against us. And I think that's the thing this season that we've got to see. We've got to see that press and we've got to defend from the front. All our players, the system requires every single player, other than goalie, obviously, but every single player to be closing down to stop those chances appearing. There's always going to be chances against us in this system. We know that we're going to concede a lot of the time. We have to defend from the front. If we defend from the front and we keep scoring and we put our chances away, the chances are we will win the game. That's, there's always going to be games that we lose. We know that. And that's part of football. That's the excitement behind it. You don't know what's going to happen. But if you look at the games where we lost, we weren't closing down properly. We weren't defending from the front. We were just relying on Van der Ven's pace. If Van der Ven was out, we was knackered from the system. And we've got to defend as a team as well as score as a team.
No, 100%. And I'm hoping that will come, and I'm hoping that will start today. There's nothing better than a North London derby to bring that togetherness for everyone to fight for each other. And if you can get that over the line today, I do think it will help us massively, massively going forward. People saying, well said, Soren, absolutely love that. But guys, I'm just going to take a minute here to plug our sponsor. Today, we are sponsored by NordVPN, the fastest VPN on the internet. And it's time for me and Jack to help you guys save some money coming into this very busy period. And inflation is really high. So we are here, along with NordVPN, to help you guys save money. And how I end up saving money is for the price of a cup of coffee every single month. I basically buy my VPN, and then what I've been able to do is shop around for different streaming providers and stuff like that for my matches. And in other countries, there is no 3 p.m. blackout like there is in the UK and some of the streaming services available to us. So in order to avoid that, because I don't get every game, I have shopped around, mainly in the USA, quickly changed my location, sign into my streaming platform over there, and I've saved myself at least, I would say, 50, 60 euro a month, which means then my missus is happy. I can take her out for a nice meal at the end of every month, which allows me to keep streaming about Tottenham Hotspur. So it's a win-win situation, and NordVPN even helps me out in that regard, which is absolutely brilliant to see. And not only that, NordVPN is also the safest VPN on the internet. You can stream up to 10 different devices, which is absolutely brilliant for you guys. It means you only have to buy one VPN. You can stream it to 10 different devices. And basically what the VPN does also, if you people know and people stream games in different ways, but sometimes you get a lot of buffering. With NordVPN, it takes that buffering out and you will get a crystal clean stream. So lots of benefits to getting your NordVPN, guys. Like I said, you can shop around safely, may I add, with NordVPN, with their security features. All your details are absolutely safe on their website. All you got to do is click on the link in the description or the link pinned in the chat for you guys. Get over, use the code FLATCAP. It'll give you an amazing discount right now, guys, and you'll be helping us out, but also helping NordVPN out while helping yourself out and saving money. So, guys, you can buy you can buy your wife that diamond necklace she wants and stuff like that if you use NordVPN. So get over there and check it out, guys. But look, let's keep this moving. Let's keep rocking forward here. And we will start. We got a couple of super chats, and then we will kick on. Dark Sung G says, Gillette was the ref who didn't book Yates until the second half after making so many nasty fouls last season. Forest away while having no problem sending off Basuma in the same game. So pretty same for us. I'm hoping that Andrew's been able to speak to him, to be brutally honest with you, throw him a little text. Look, let's do this for the Aussies, have that camaraderie and stuff like that. Let's wait and see. Look, I don't trust any referee. Over the last few years, I think they're out to get Tottenham and stuff like that. So hopefully we just get a fair ref. I mean, that Michael Oliver at the North London Derby last season at our place was a disgrace of a referee. And, people talk about the big moments, the big decisions. I'm talking about the little decisions in the game that can change the momentum of games, giving Arsenal absolutely everything. It was purely, absolutely disgusting, Dark Sung G. So hopefully all I ask for is we just get a fair ref today, my man. We've got DJ Samuel says, come on, you Spurs, still recovering from my mental health issues the other day. Big up, DJ Samuel. Guys, everybody, please get in the comments and wish this guy an absolute lot of love. Going through a bit of a tricky, rocky period at this moment in time. So, one thing we like to do around here, or one thing I think we should do as Spurs fans, is lift each other up. So please, guys, get in the comments and wish him, full recovery on that. Big up, DJ Samuel, and I will get in contact with you this week, my man. We'll have a little phone call. Neil Thomas says, member for 27 months. Big up, lads. 2-1 for the boys today. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Neil Thomas. Great to see you. Hopefully you're keeping well, sir. Davey Shire has gifted out 5 Irish Hotspur memberships. Davey, I have looked to see who they went to. For some reason, it's not coming up on the chat, so I do apologize. But guys, if you have been a grateful recipient, please make sure you thank Davey for that as well. And big up, Davey, by the way. Great views from from close enough to where you live. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. I'd love that. All that fresh air hitting me. It'd be absolutely brilliant, Davey Sharp. Big yourself up, sir, and good to see you in the building. We've got the Belgian Hotspur. He says, big up, Jars. He says, as Anne said, if we keep performing, points will come. And look, hopefully that's the case. Keep putting out the performances, and eventually, things will turn in your favor. Results will follow, and hopefully that happens to Belgian Hotspur. But we have to start getting results very, very quickly, my man. Big yourself up. We've got Kate, just a girl who loves Spurs, member for 7 months. Come on, you effing Spurs. Smash those dirty gooners today. I think we're all praying for a big, big performance here today, Kate. Big yourself up. Good to see you in the building. Hopefully you and Jimbo are having a great day. Got this from John Fernandez, Soulful House, wannabe AFTV, Misery Cells. I don't know. I don't think you quite understand the concept of fan channels. They sort of talk about the good and the bad. I think if you're only talking about one or the other, I think it's not very balanced and stuff like that. I think you have to acknowledge the both. So I completely disagree with that. But fan channels, we're here to speak about stuff going on at the club. If that's not your thing, I mean, look, there's plenty of other people out there doing it. You're more than welcome to go and visit them. We've got Davy Shire.
Dave, quickly, I don't think he's talking about us. I think he's talking about other channels.
I think he's talking about he's talking about AFTV Misery. So how they're always on the downer all the time.
Yeah,
I don't think he's talking about you personally. I don't think he's talking about this.
Well,
channel.
If you're not, I apologize. If you are, I don't apologize. So just let me know, John. And if it is, I will apologize to you in the chat.
You've covered yourself, Dave, by here.
No, because you know what? I just get it. Do you know what it is? I actually don't get it as much as other people. And just the slightest thing just sort of triggers me a little. It annoys me.
I get it. I get it, Dave. I do get it. I understand it. But
because if you say I'm positive, you're a deluded happy clapper. If you say I'm negative, you're negative Nancy. And it's just like, fan channels here to speak about stuff.
I get it because I'm deluded and I get it a lot. So I do get it. I understand it. But I think it was more attack at them, not you. This is a great channel.
Yeah, look, even if he doesn't feel like it, it's his point of view and he's welcome to it. But big up, John. We've got Davy Shire says, get me the darts, get me the deets. I was screwed by Up the Sport in Oz. Keep it clean, my friends. We all have our opinions. 10-0, come on, you effing Spurs. And this is the thing, I see some, actually it's not too bad today, actually, but a bit of argy-bargy. Look, we're Spurs fans. We got to be united heading into this fixture today. And I'm going to get onto it, but the fans is what bet Arsenal that time underneath Antonio Conte. The build up to it, welcoming them the bus down the Tottenham High Road with the flares, making it very hostile for them. People in the stands waiting for them, because when the bus pulls in, they have to walk around the stadium to get down into dressing rooms. People there waiting for them, making it a toxic atmosphere for them. And the same when the whistle went and the atmosphere that built up before it. We need to turn up today united in our hate for Arsenal. And I think that's what will ultimately end up pushing us over the line today. So let's not get on each other's case. Now's not the time for it. After 90 minutes, rip each other's head off for all I care. But up until then, let's all just be with each other for once and show a bit of pride and passion towards the other lot, that we absolutely hate. But big up Davy Shire. Up the sport. You're not being showed for you today, up the sport, no? Why not, Davy Shire? It's a bit odd. I thought they showed every game. But big up Davy Shire. Absolute legend. And then we've got this from Mark Satoshi. Super sticker. Let's see what he's doing in here. See what the big dog's at. Where's Marky boy? Where is he? I can't see it. Don't know why. But Mark, big up. I'll find it now in 1 sec. It's probably just taking its time to come up. But really appreciate the support, brother. Absolute legend. Just make sure I'm not missing anything. I don't know what's going on. I think my streaming is gone a bit crazy here. It's a thank you. Oh, big up, Mark. Really appreciate that, my man. Absolute legend. Really appreciate the thanks. Too kind. Look, I'd be here or not, even if people didn't like it, I'd still be here. If people didn't appreciate it or didn't want to say thank you or not, I'd still be here in your faces doing it anyway. I absolutely love it. So big up, Mark. Absolute legend. Really do appreciate the support. But guys, just quickly, before we get into maybe talking a little bit about the lineup, I know that it was sort of requested by, people that liaise for the fans, that they didn't want the gimmicks like the trumpet. They don't want speakers being blasted through or music being blasted through the speakers in the concourse, that they want to sort of let the atmosphere grow organically and that today. How important is it we take advantage of being at home today so early in the season in the North London Derby?
It's very vital. It's absolutely, you have to use home advantage for your own to help you. The fans are the 12th man. When we're in the tight spot, we're going to need them fans to dig us out of that tight spot. We have to make it like it was under Conte when we beat them 2-0 or 3-0. We have to make it as hostile as possible and make the opposition not want to come out of that pitch. And we didn't need a trumpet that night. We didn't need whatever. The fans will generate their own atmosphere. And if it's left to the fans, it's done right. And I think I agree with that. Today has to be left to the fans. It needs to be rocking. It needs to be really up for it. And I think if you leave it to them, it will be. Because
by the way, Dermot, I know they're looking for a backup trumpist. The guy's going on holiday and these people to cover him. You're crazy enough. Think you could do it?
I'll take on any job. You know me.
He blows enough hot hair, doesn't he?
Huh?
I said he blows enough hot hair.
Air.
No, not hair. Bloody hell.
Air. Can I respond to that? Sorry, Dave, you're being monetized.
No, work away. But guys, last sort of point, and then we will get on to talk about the lineup. Sorry, I know we'll let you guys come in on this one. For today's game, Arsenal have been forced to break a 38-year tradition by not wearing the home kit. Instead, they'll take to the pitch in their away kit. And actually, believe it or not, ironically, Pogmall have ruled because there's too much white in their home kit. How ironic is it, given their disdain for us, that they want to look like us? But does this maybe, the disruption to the tradition, does this maybe give Tottenham a different mindset heading into this game, or Arsenal? Does it give maybe Tottenham that psychological advantage?
Nah, it was to you and me, Soren, but no, I don't think so. Look, at the end of the day, you're still the same person. Don't matter bloody what kit you wear, does it? You're still the same. You're still going to be the same person. I mean, the only difference is that traditionally you would see them wear their colours, and they're not going to be wearing their colours. Otherwise, the player still remains the same person, unless the player within themselves is defined in the way that he wants to wear certain kits, and mentally it will affect him or her or whoever's wearing the kit. Otherwise, you're the same player. Doesn't matter what you wear. Doesn't matter whether you wear black, blue, dare I say it, white. Doesn't matter what you wear. It still should make you the same player. But it'll be different because we'll not be used to seeing our opponents not wearing that colour. So, but no, I don't think it affects anybody at all. Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't think it shouldn't affect the players. I mean, if it affects the mindset of the fans, from their fans, or it affects the mindset of our fans, that's something different. But it should never affect the player what colour kit you're wearing.
Fair. Sorry, anything to add to that, or move on?
I mean, the only thing I would say is it's always nice to see us playing against that red and white and beating them. That's the only thing. I want to beat them in their proper kit because that's who they are. But it's kind of nice that the old argument, that we've got too much red. Well, they can't wear their kit because it's got too much white. They obviously want to beat us, so. That's the only answer. But no, I'm nothing else to really add to what I think. I know now and again we have kits that don't seem to work, and teams don't seem to be able to win in them. But I think when you're talking about top teams, it shouldn't really matter. It really shouldn't.
I think for them,
it's the start of a winning streak for them.
Losing
streak. Fuck, shit.
That's just been clipped.
Yeah,
he's already had his Irish coffee this morning, Soren.
Yeah, but, that was a slip.
I do think it might have a little bit of a psychological disadvantage to them. It'd be strange heading into a North London derby because I do think that red would probably give them a little bit of passion, make them maybe do a little bit more where they wouldn't. I think, not being in the red, hopefully it takes a little bit of passion out of it, or it's a bit weird for them and their fans. That would be absolutely brilliant for us. Tagaro, good to see you, sir. Hopefully you're keeping well. How have you been? He says, we're all united in a common interest, positive, negative, optimistic, pessimistic, deluded, happy clappers, etc. Who gives an F? Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely love that from Tagaro. Look, at the end of the day, I've always said, the good thing is we all want the same thing for Tottenham, which is trophies. We all just have different ways of going about. And that's probably where, some of the disagreements and that come in. But you're absolutely right. We all love this club. And like I said, for today, let's all just be with each other for one. And that is a powerful thing, my man. Big up to Garo. Good to see you in the house. Guys, Mickey van de Ven, of course, declared fit for today. How much of a boost is it to have him back? And what makes him, what is it that he brings to Tottenham that makes him such an important player to this lineup, outside of the obvious, the pace for the highlight?
I mean, personally, I think you have a player like that, and, the one thing I found quite interesting, there was a stat the other day, and it was the top 10 fastest players so far this season. And Son was well ahead of Van de Ven. And everybody tells us that Son's lost his pace. Interesting one, that. Going back to Van de Ven, what does it bring us? I think it brings us confidence. It brings, it brings that back line is allowed to do what they want to do a little bit more with him in. And we go on about how good a defender Van de Ven is. His pace is his strength. That's what, he is the one. He is probably one of the best defenders, could I say, in the world at doing the job he does, that run back and tackle. There's not many can do the same as him because of his pace. I don't think he's quite as good a defender if it's a low line, and he's defending in his own box. But what he does, he's one of the best out there, and he is critical to the system we play. And we want another run like he did the other day, don't we? Full stop.
If he gave us one of them today, I mean, he'd go down in the history books. He'd be lauded by Tottenham fans. I think one thing where I think Van de Ven doesn't get enough credit for me is actually how good he is at progressing that ball down that left-hand side. One touch, and usually what happens is Maddison and that sort of come inside. And you've seen it so far this season when he's played. It's one pass straight out to Son. He gets him one-on-one with the winger. And I don't think he gets enough credit for it. I think outside of the obvious, the pace and that, I think that's one area I think, he's really important. When we had Romero and Dragusin, when either of them play there, it's not really quite the same in how quick we can maybe transition that ball out from the back. So I think that's one other thing that he definitely offers us. Jose, Dermo?
Look, I think Van de Ven I'm absolutely over the moon he's playing today. He's so vital for the system we play. And do you know what I mean? I think I can't say any more than what Soren has said. I can't add any more, but it's such a confident boost. And also Basuma could be fit as well. I mean, that's another confident boost as well for us. So do you know what I mean? And just to Sava, I know he said something in the chat. Sometimes when I get going, sometimes I don't get all my facts right. I didn't mean to come across if it has said what you said, but look, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and everyone please respect Sava. He does a good show, and he should be respected, and he should be treated. All of us should be treated respect, but Sava should be as well.
Can I just say on that, Dermot, somebody said about Sava being the Lee Gunner of the Tottenham fans. He's far better than Lee Gunner.
He is far better than Lee Gunner.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that now. We may not all agree with Sava, but he's not the Lee Gunner. He should be respected, like all of us should be respected, and we all should stick together because we all support one club at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We're all Tottenham Hotspur fans. We're all fans of the one club we love. We may have different opinions. We may have different looks of it. We may have even different outlooks on it. But it doesn't matter if you Levy out, Levy in, Levy in the middle, Ange out, Ange in. We all support Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. And that's what brings us together. This club brings us all together, and we should remember that. We should remember that because before the pandemic, we all didn't know each other. The pandemic brought us all together as a family, and that's what we are. We're a massive family, and we should always remember that.
The thing is as well, everyone's got their own, like me, I use this as a break from my struggles, to get away from the struggles and stuff in life, as a break to take my mind away from it and stuff like that. And no one needs this shit outside of it, know. And that's the thing that I've been trying to get across. It doesn't matter who you are. No one needs all this shit and some of the shit that goes on outside of it. So let's all just respect each other. But big up, Sava. Have a good day. Hopefully we get the win, and hopefully, it's a nice message I get this evening. That'd be nice. That'd be very, very nice. Jose, anything you want to add on the Van de Ven?
Van de Ven is still young. Van de Ven is still learning his trade. It's obvious that everyone's going to say the biggest asset he's got is his pace and stuff like that. Yes, it's an asset that he's got, but he's actually building his football IQ. He's building his football brain at the moment. As a ball playing centre half, he's really comfortable with the ball at his feet, playing football, and he is for me, apart from his pace and that, he looks like an old school centre half that can play out the ball from the back. So, there are many strings to his bow, so to speak. It's not just about his pace, but he's still learning about himself. He's still learning the game, and for me, I'm not just reliant on his pace. I think he's calm. When people are playing against him, he seems calm. He seems like he's got time on that ball. He more often makes the right decision or not with the passes that he then makes. There's more to it. I get the pace. I get the pace aspect to it, but I think there's more about him, and he's still learning. He's young. He's still learning the game, but I think there's a lot more about him to enjoy and to see him make further improvements on his speed. Let's face it. I mean, you're not going to get much quicker than what he already is at his speed. Now, when Soren was saying that he saw about the top 10, at the moment, he obviously hasn't had to use his sprint as much as last season because he hasn't been clocked at that further speeds further up the table type thing. But
Jose, it wasn't so much about Van de Ven, it was about all those telling us that Son has no pace, but yet he's
Son was higher. Son was
higher.
Son's been recorded at higher speed this season than him. But yeah, for me, as I said, at the end of the day, there's a lot more about it than just speed. I like, as I said, his footballing IQ will improve. He will improve with with time. But I like the way that he plays football from out the back, and I think he's a good footballing centre half. And again, He's got time on his hands, and I want that time spent with Tottenham. I don't want us to make players and build players and then have to sell them on further down the line. But in order to do that, we as a team need to become competitive. So everything goes hand in hand in what we've been discussing today about Tottenham, about getting 3 points, becoming more consistent. You do that, you keep your players, because your players then want to go and build on. And that's why we ended up, because of the football we played and because we got better, that's why we ended up with the 4 defenders that you said earlier, David, with your Rose, Walker, Vertonghen, Alderweireld. We ended up with a defence like that because we were playing better football. We got better, and we formed a team, and that's what we need to do now. So you want to keep all your players. I don't want to be selling players to Real Madrid and Man City and all that. I don't want to be selling to them. I want them to play and build Tottenham up, but they'll only stay if we become consistent and we become better. And by that, we need to pick up points. And dare I say it, well, I won't. I will say it. We need to start picking up a trophy or two.
And I would say the urgency is quite quickly. You look at Romero, Real Madrid, Pia. He won't go to United. That's one place he will not go. PSG, maybe. Real Madrid, if they come calling, he's gone. And I think the only thing that will change his mind is if we can pick up a trophy this season and show him that we are genuinely trying to push in that direction, that we do have that capabilities. With Harry Kane, we never shown that we could get over the line. He left. With Romero, I think this summer he has 2 years left on his contract. That's prime time for Real Madrid to come in here. So I think, A, we have to try and tie him down to a new contract, but B, we've got to start putting points on the board, looking like we're heading towards a trophy, and then hopefully that will make him sign that contract. But one thing we have is 2 very, very good centre-halves. And once they start clicking and tightening up a little bit, teams ain't going to have a good day against us, which I absolutely cannot wait, because it means they can't go in behind, because Van de Ven, a.k.a. Flash, will just take that off them. And they can't put it into their feet because Romero will just smash them. So that's absolutely where we want to get as a partnership. Lazy 8, big up, Nico. Good to see you. Says you watch Van de Ven's assist for Son and then tell me he's only about pace. Timing and IQ are underrated. Also, Nick, let's not forget his goal from the edge of the box last season. Absolute screamer. This guy has shown, not only can he defend, but he can dribble with the ball. He's got composure in the final third, which I absolutely love. In years gone by, you'd see a centre-back stank a shot and you'd laugh because you're a typical centre-back shot. We've got 2 centre-backs in our team that hit a ball like a striker. You got a right-back in our team that hits the ball better than most of our forward players. It's absolutely unbelievable, Lazy 8. And with Van de Ven, I think he's a £100 million centre-back. He's got it all. And I think if this guy becomes like a bit of a colossus in the air, like a Van Dijk, like maybe a Vidic in years gone by, we've got the best centre-back on planet Earth, Nick. Big yourself up, my man. I know you're absolutely pumped today, brother. Let's bloody go. Let's go, Nico. Good to see you in the house. Moving on to left back, and I'll just ask one of you this question, and then we'll keep it moving. So I'll come to you on this one, Soren. Given Udogi's tendency to push forward, and the fact that Saka absolutely loves scoring against Tottenham, he scored in both games last season against us, does Postecoglou need to instruct Destiny Udogi to play a bit more of a disciplined role today, shall we say? More or less sit back and sort of man-mark Saka, because for me, if you man-mark him, you take him out of the game. That's the way I believe. I think Udogi's got the pace to keep up with him if he wants to try and skin him, but he's also got the strength to be able to take that ball off him and sort of dominate him. So for me, I think if he could play that role today, eliminate their threat, I think we go on and win this game. Soren, how do you feel about that? I know it's not Postecoglou's nature to ask, but you think he should for this game? Respect this threat. Saka?
Yes and no. I think with Udogi, the biggest worry I've got with him in this game this season is he hasn't hit form yet. Let's go back to last year in his first North London derby against Saka. The first 20 minutes or so, he was quite bad. Saka had him in his pocket. And then all of a sudden, Udogi got that yellow card, and then Udogi put Saka in his pocket. He just quietened him down for the rest of the game. And that's the Udogi that we need today. We need him to be on form. The problem with saying man mark Saka is it kind of then takes away from Udogi's game. That going forward. If he goes forward, then you hope Saka has to defend instead. So therefore, that quietens Saka down if it all works out. But Udogie has to start hitting form. That's the problem with him, I think, this season. He's looked a shadow of himself from last season.
Are we ruined not buying someone though on that one? Sorry, and the reason why I say that is because he was late. They knew he was late coming back to preseason because of the injury and the return date and stuff like that. So he's actually using these games to sort of build up match fitness, if you know what I mean, match sharpness.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with it, you know, we know he's a better player than what we've seen so far this season. And yes, it's probably, you know, fitness and form just isn't hitting it yet. And what a time to bring it on if he starts today. But I fully get we need to sort of man mark and change our philosophy and things like this. But let's look at it on the opposite form. If we play to our strengths today and we have the game of our season so far, we win. You know, there's no doubt in my mind that we can go and win this game today if we play our game and it comes off. If we play our game and we're not on top form, then no, you know, we do need to change it. And that's the problem that you've got with the system we're playing. We have to be on form to beat Arsenal. We know that. And if we change the way Udogie plays, that means we've got to change how other players play as well. So does that mean that we push Van der Ven more forward? If we push Van der Ven more forward, does that allow more chance for him to get behind? So to me, I don't think we change it necessarily. I think we have to adapt a little bit, but not necessarily say to Udogie, you've got to stay back and mark him. If he pushes forward, that means Saka's got to be taken back. That's where.
Do you know what? I think there's two ways we can do it today. You know, I think we can keep an eye on Saka the whole game, and I think you just rotate between your CDM and your left back. If Udogie goes forward, you bring your CDM back to sit in, and then that means Van der Ven. If anything goes out Saka's side, he can get out there and sort of eliminate that. That's what I would like to do today, because I do agree with you. Udogie going forward, he drags players with him. He can be a bit of a nuisance. And not only that, with the inverted runs, he actually creates a lot of space for Sonny out there when he sticks out there. So I do 100% take on board what you're saying. For me, I just think Saka, you look at him, he's Arsenal's biggest threat. He's Arsenal's biggest danger. He loves scoring against Tottenham. And I do think if we can find a way of neutralizing him out of today's game, I think we've got a massive chance of going on and winning this big as well. So I would like to see maybe between the CDM and Udogie keeping an eye on Saka, because what we can't allow to happen is Udogie to run forward. They turn that ball over. Saka just sits out there on the halfway line out wide, one ball out to them and they're in. You know, that will cause problems. We've seen it on the counter-attack last year. I think it was the first goal Saka scored for them. It was, you know, our players were caught up the field, one straight ball out to him. He's in behind. So that is something I think we need to look at and negate heading into today's game. Jose, we'll come down to you, and then we'll get on to the midfield, and we'll let Dermotron start. Set pieces. Tottenham conceded 16 goals from set pieces last season, including 2 against Arsenal. Do you think this will be a weakness Arsenal will again look to target today? And do you think we've improved from defending set pieces?
I think we have improved in general in the first 3 games. I think it starts with the goalkeeper. If I'm going to look at the back 5, it starts with the keeper. I think the best thing that the keeper did is to come out and say, look, I know that I had deficiencies last season in these areas, and I've gone and I'm working on them to address these. Obviously, there's more time for these defenders to all play with each other and play together. And regardless whether people believe it or not, on the training pitch, they do work at defensive issues, you know. And it appears that, yeah, they have done this. I mean, I went to the Everton game, and I will say, I was in the South Stand, and about 5 minutes before the end of the first half, they got a series of about 3 corners, one after the other. And I can't tell you what we were all shouting from the South Stand. But one of the biggest cheers, apart from the goals that went out, was when Vicario came out and actually caught the ball in amongst the ruck of players, and then the whole stadium was just up, you know. So Yeah, I think defensively we've got better in defending free kicks and corners. It was a lapse in concentration for the first game against Leicester, which wasn't the player that normally lets the ball go over his head. We used to accuse that of Porro. It was somebody else who did that at a game against Leicester. But yeah, in general, I think they have improved, and you can see that they've worked on it. With the Adogi, right? With his thing, watching the game, so being and watching and seeing the whole line of side of pitch against Everton, I will tell people now, 70% of the time it was Porro that was inverting and going up, and the doggy wasn't doing it. He only did it about for 30% of the game. Now, whether that's down to him not having a pre-season, trying to build up his fitness, or whether he's been told that, I don't know because I'm not in the dressing room. But it was interesting to see that we weren't flying with two players going up at the same time. It was 70% was Porro and 30% was the doggy. So, whether these are subtle changes that have been made, or whether it is because of him being not as match ready and that, I don't know. But again, at the end of the day, these are things that people fail to see, right? And won't talk about it because it doesn't suit to talk like that. It doesn't suit to say no, that Anne just tweaked it, Anne just changed it. So, but I was there, saw it with my own eyes. Now, whether he's tweaked or changed it, or whether it was because of pre-season issues, that's what I saw. That's what happened in the game. So, but yeah, you can see that collectively, defensively, even for corners, the way we set up for corners, both attacking and defending, we don't set up in the same way that we did last season. We tweaked and we've changed that as well. People are picked up far quicker. Last year, I admit, I thought sometimes we were very loose with our marking.
Yeah.
But this season so far, from what I've seen, it looks like we are picking up our players far quicker than that. And you are going with players. So whether you win the ball or not, you are challenging with a player. So you put the player off, or you the slide digs that you do in the game, nudge the player out of the way and stuff like that. I've seen this already for the first 3 games, and it's a work in progress. You've got to continue doing it, but continue doing it. It will make us defensively better.
Look, with set pieces, it's one thing that Ange has sort of changed. And again, like you said, I don't think it's getting, enough praise, to be brutally honest, because someone said there, we haven't conceded from a set piece this season, which is true. I think what we have to understand is, and when you look at our squad in general, from 1 to 11 who starts, we're not the biggest of teams compared to other teams we're coming up against. And automatically, that's where a lot of times they're winning them headers. And they're still winning a lot of the first balls that come in. But we have changed from, we're doing sort of half man marking, where a couple of players will pick up a few players. And then if you actually look at the rest, and you've seen Maddison make 2 or 3 clearances off the line so far this season already, they're crowding the goals, which means anything, if they do get a header or a shot off, we've got bodies there between the shooter and the goal to be able to get the blocking and stuff like that. But it does look like that we've conceded. We're not going to be able to compete man for man against some of the colossus that we're coming up against in terms of set pieces, but we have found another way to stop making them as potent or as deadly for the opposition. So I do think he deserves a bit of praise there, and it'd be interesting to see how they get on today from set pieces. One other area, I think Vicario could do a lot more to command his area sometimes from set pieces. You even look at the likes of Jordan Pickford, he's always out there trying to claim it, trying to get punches away. With Vicario, sometimes I think he's a bit hesitant, and I don't think it actually breeds confidence into the players around him defending these set pieces and stuff like that. Whereas I think if he commanded his area a lot more, I think it would probably inspire other people, on a little bit to go and be a bit more competitive and stuff like that. But I don't want to see them concede from a set piece today. Arsenal are one of the most prolific teams from set pieces. We already know what they're going to try and do come into this game. So it's up to us to be switched on. And I've said it, and you know what? I'm glad Roy Keane come out and said it as well the other day. Tottenham switch off when the ball goes out of play, whether it's throw-ins, corner kicks, free kicks. We switch off. We lose our focus. And that also has to change, especially for today. And that's probably another area, again, why we concede so many, because we almost use that as a bit of a break, a bit of breathing space. And that also has to change for us to be a lot better from set pieces as well. But look, let's keep it moving. Dermotron moving into the midfield today. Look, we don't know about Basuma's fitness. It's 50-50.
No.
I'm going to hazard a guess. I think we'll see him today. I think he
so.
feels like he owns the fans. I feel like he owns Ange Postecoglou. And I think he's going to go through the pain barrier and he's going to start today along with James Maddison, who seem to be the two that Postecoglou picks the most in there. And midfield is an area that Ange Postecoglou, I don't think, knows his best midfield. And I think it's hard for him to do because he's never had all of his options really fit and available at the one time. But what should we be looking for? What characteristics should we be looking for that third choice in midfield to help the likes of Maddison and Basuma in that midfield?
I think I agree with you. I think Basuma will play today. I think he will. And I think Basuma does bring that sort of, him and Sarr bring that sort of little bit of balance in that midfield, where I don't think you get it with Bentancur or Sarr, or Bentancur and Basuma. Basuma and Sarr play well together, and also Basuma owes us an apology. He owes us something for what he got up to. And look, I think he proved that against Everton. When you saw the goal, he bowed down to the crowd, and it meant something to him. I think he needs to keep that intensity up. A good Basuma makes our midfield tick. A Basuma that goes missing, then we lose the midfield. The midfield today if we win the midfield, we win the match.
Yeah.
And I think this is where the battle is going to be today. It's going to be in the middle of the park. And we got to have even if it's Bentancur. And I think Bentancur is a very skillful player as well. But I just feel Basuma and Sarr link up well together. One sits back, one goes forward. Then they interchange. One sits back, one goes forward. They know how each other play. So it's vital that he sticks with the midfield that gives the license for Maddison the freedom and the space to do what Maddison does well, which is ping them passes in to the front tree. And if we can give him that space, then I think we can win today. It's all about giving Maddison the space and the time to look up, right, where am I going with this, and ping these passes. And I think Basuma and Sarr give you that. They give you that little bit of stability that we need in the middle of the pitch. Look, Bentancur's a great player, don't get me wrong. And he does well when he comes on. But we may lose him for 6 to 12 games with this ban from the FA coming up. So we've got to now, Basuma's now got to step up to say, right, I played against Everton. That's the level I need to play at.
Yeah.
I need to do that consistently. He didn't do that last season. And we suffered in the midfield because of it. There was games he went missing. This year, he's done what he's done. Let's move on. You know, we haven't forgotten what you did. We've forgiven you, but we haven't forgotten. And now I want you to put in consistent performances. And I think he links better with Sonny than he does with any other player. They get each other. And that's what you want in the midfield. So, look, for me, it will be won or lost in the midfield today. And if we get our midfield right, I think we can win this damn game.
100%. I think midfield is so integral, so important to get that balance right in there. And I don't think people understand, you know, with midfielders, they have to do both sides of the game. They have to go and affect it going forward and also, you know, make sure there's not too big, massive holes and gaps between them for them to be able to play through or to be able to run through going the other way. It's a really, really important position on the pitch. And as the old saying goes, Dermo, you know, you win the midfield battle 9 times out of 10, you go on to win that game.
You do.
Yeah, no, 100%, lad.
I mean, also, Dave, in another way as well, you know, it's so important that you have generals in there as well. And Basuma and Sarr need to step up today. If Basuma does play, whoever plays in that midfield have to step up and say, this is our turf. This is our home. We're not going to let you boss us. We're going to boss you. And it's so important that that attitude comes out in that midfield because how many times in the past that we have said Tottenham have got bullied in the midfield? How many times have players in the midfield got bullied out of it? Enough is enough. This is against Arsenal. This is a game you dare not lose. You've got to show today, you wearing that cockerel on your chest. You prove I am proud to wear this shirt. I'm proud to wear this cockerel. I'm going to show you who I am today. You got to sort of like eye the tiger. We've got to show him that eye the tiger today.
Mm.
And it's so important that we do that in the midfield. And then we make Arsenal's midfield think, oh, hang on, maybe we want to step back a little bit. And then you press them. You've got to keep pressing them. Attack them like tigers. When they get the ball, attack them like a pack of tigers. Don't give them the space. And it all starts from the midfield.
Yeah.
If your midfield's on it, then the whole team's on it. If your midfield's not on it, then it doesn't tick, because it's like the defense and the attacker's got no link. There's your link. You've got to be on it from minute one.
No, 100%. The midfield tree is so important to get the balance, the dynamics right in there. And you need a bit of everything. You need someone that can go and hit the ball, hit players. You need someone that can go and hunt the ball. You also need someone that's technically, is technically good on the ball, someone that has a bit of a passing range behind them, someone that has a bit of an eye for, threading passes through. You need a bit of everything in there. Faz Radfar 3-1 Spurs says avoid silly mistakes and own goals, and we will win. Yeah, look, that's one thing we do need to avoid. It's just a stupid mistake today. Am I correct in saying I think, we've scored, 2 own goals against them in the last couple of games or something like that?
Yeah.
And I think if another one happens today, they get a record as well. Absolute madness. Faz Radfar. So, look, like I said, up until after the game, that's when I'll come back down to reality. Up until then, I just refuse to believe that we won't get a result here today, that we won't win. I think we will. And I hope for the best, and hopefully I've manifested it and it comes true. Faz Radfar, big yourself up. I've just got a knock at the door, guys, but I'll leave this to Soren and Jose. It's a similar question to Dermo, but who do you think out of the options we've got, Bentancur, Kulusevski, Sarr, who do you think will be selected in that midfield tree today, guys?
I mean, for me, I think we do Maddison, Bissouma and Bentancur. Have Bentancur kind of playing almost in that 6th, and we put Kulu on the right, because Kulu is a far better defensive winger than Johnson is. He's far better than Johnson, full stop, at the moment. But to me, it just brings more stability. And then we've got that extra option of Kulusevski being part of the defence and letting Porro bomb up on the outside of him. It really is key that we win that midfield today. We've got to really be solid. We've got to make sure nothing comes through that midfield. The wings, just as important. Kulu helps everything on that wing. I know people say he's not effective and things like that, but his effectiveness is helping defence as well. And then that allows Porro to go around the outside of him. To me, I love Papsa. I think he's a fantastic player. And again, he's probably one for the future and he's getting better. But again, his form just isn't there this season. He's not playing as well as he did last season. And to me, he's probably so far this season the weak link in that midfield. And that's why you've got to put Bentancur as kind of that number 6. Let Bissouma have that free role along with Maddison. Because that's where we saw the best of him last season, when he was allowed to run forward, when he was allowed to show what he can do. And Bentancur is, I think he's quite good when he sits behind those players and watches the game. He reads the game so well. And he's also got a point to prove today that if it's his last game before his ban, to me, you've got to let him loose on the pitch. Just let him show us what we're going to miss. And I think he could be a colossus for us today. If he plays and he sits back and he helps defend, I think he'll be a colossus. And what do you think, Jose?
So for me, I always say that it's about what we do, what's within our gift, and forget about the other opponents. I don't care what they do, I just care about what we do. But today is today, and looking at the people were talking about defensively, the heights, free kicks, stuff like that. I've looked there and I think to myself, we've got 6 6-footers in our team. Arsenal don't have 6 6-footers in their team. So I'm just looking at it and thinking to myself, do you know what? We can match up defensively against them and in attack, because if we've got players that are taller than them in attack, then obviously we can also be, we can also make a difference in their box. But for me, I look at their team. If they have lost the 2 players, well, they have lost Rice, we know that. if they have lost Odegaard as well, where is their defensive? Partey is probably the most defensive midfielder they've got, along with Rice, but Rice is not there. I don't think that they've got players that come in and play exactly the same way that Rice plays, and possibly like Odegaard does. So for me, yeah, Bentancur is one that I would like to see play. I'd like to see Bentancur. I think Bentancur sits there and scans and dictates the play. Bentancur can receive the ball with left or right foot. Bentancur can pass the ball with left or right foot. And we ain't got many players in the Premiership that can do that, let alone in one team. Because a lot of these players get paid so much money for kicking the ball, and sometimes badly, with one leg. So at the end of the day, I just think I agree with Papsar. Papsar, for me, all he offers, or all he has offered so far this season, is energy. And even then, his energy levels don't last the 90 minutes. They seem to get to about 60 and they wane off. And there hasn't been an end product from Pap this season. So, I mean, Pap he may have been asked to play in a different way. I don't know, because we don't know what happens on the training pitch. And, and maybe it gasses him out after 60, and that's when you have to make substitutions. So, but the thing is, if Bissouma is out, then Bentancur becomes important to you. If Biss is out, Bentancur then becomes absolutely the most important midfielder you're going to pick today. If you're going to pick midfielders, you're not going to give Archie Gray and Bergvall a chance, then Bentancur then becomes your most important midfielder if Biss is out. When we played against Everton, and now before people shoot me, just wanted to let people know, Ipswich got a 0-0 at Brighton yesterday. Forest beat Liverpool yesterday. Leicester got a draw against Crystal Palace yesterday. Look, we play in a league that's not easy to get your 3 points. Right? It's proven with results yesterday. On the one hand, you can't say, yeah, we should be beating this team and the other. And then on the other hand, say, do you know what? It's really difficult to get 3 points. So today's going to be no different. It will be difficult to get 3 points. But what I saw against Everton, I saw the midfield. It was Biss, Madders, and Kulu. And what I saw in that game was that Madders looked after the left-hand side of the pitch and sort of like helped Odegaard out. Yeah, because he'd always get the ball and he'd give it out to Odegaard. And Kulusevski, I thought, had a really good game against Everton, but he sort of like babysat Johnson, to be honest, in that game as well. And it could well be today that if Bissouma is injured, then who will your 3 be? Is it going to be Kulu and Madders again? Will it be? Or is he going to risk it with Graham Bergvall? Do you see what I mean? Because
I put Archie Gray in there. Put Archie Gray and Sonny in there. Sarr in there.
He won't do it.
He
will not start Gray or Bergvall today. I'll be very surprised if he does. If you look at some of his team selections in gone by, when he's had options to select these guys in lesser games, he hasn't done it. I'd be very surprised if he throws one of them into the heat in a North London derby. Their opportunities will come Wednesday night against Coventry, and it's up to them then to prove and earn them minutes in a game like today. I actually agree with what a lot of the boys are saying in midfield. I think with Papamata Sarr, he does turn over a lot of ball in there, and I don't think he gets enough credit for that. But when we're going forward and the ball gets to his feet, sometimes I find him, especially this season, underwhelming. He doesn't really have that technical ability when he's just in and around the edge of the box. And I think he lacks it a little bit. And I think that's one area of the game that the guy really needs to sort of pinpoint very, very quickly and start to learn to improve on if he really wants to get into this side. But then you have a couple of questions here. People going, is Kulusevski and Madders in there too offensive? There's a couple of questions in there. I liked the likes of Kulusevski and Maddison against Leicester, because what it did do is it gave us 2 number 10s in effect. And it means, we could go at them centrally, out wide. It did not matter. We were set up to try and just absolutely bombard them. And I think when you look at the amount of chances, I think Solanke had 4 good chances. We had other good chances as well. It worked. But against a team like Arsenal, is it too attacking? I think the one thing I will say about Kulusevski, he's not shy to work back. And I think that's why we get away with having him in there, is because he will work back. He is robust enough. But to be honest, I agree with Soren. I'd like to see Kulusevski back out on the right today. I know a lot of people have had their issues with Kulusevski out there, but I think a large part of Kulusevski's issues last year was when he was putting them balls into the box, there was no one to aim at. You know, this time around, if he has a Solanke there or someone like that, Son bursting in from the left-hand side to get to the back post, I think, you know, we'll be having different conversations around Kulusevski. I just think right now with Johnson and with Udebur in front of goal, I think they're just getting too excited. I don't think that composure is quite there. And in a game like today, you need that steeliness. You need that composure. The best goal scorers in world football are the guys that create the most. You know, when everything else is moving 100 miles around them, it's almost slow motion in their brain. They can see it. They're composed, you know, and they 9 times out of 10, they end up picking the right pass, breaking teams down. And I just think with Udebur, you could see it last week against Newcastle. Yeah, you had that one that you should have buried close to the line. But you had 3 or 4 shots in and around the box that he absolutely blazed over, didn't even get on target. And that's because it's the youthfulness, it's that excitement when he gets into them positions. Someone like that is going to get into them positions regularly. Now he needs to bring the composure, the calmness in front of goal. And I think Kulusevski will give us that on the right-hand side. So for me, I would like to see Kulu out on the right today. To be honest with you, if Basuma's fit, I would go Basuma, Bentancur, Madison. I think one thing people forget with Rodrigo Bentancur, underneath Antonio Conte, Højbjerg was the one that sat in and played a bit more disciplined role. Bentancur got forward, and Bentancur scored goals in that Conte system going forward. He's a huge threat from set pieces. We've seen it earlier on this season already when he's played, you know, getting on a couple of the corner kicks that we put in there. And for me, I think people are sleeping on him a little. I think defensively, again, he's good, but again, he offers you a bit of composure. So I'd actually be looking to go Basuma, Bentancur, Madison with Kulusevski out on the right today.
Yeah, fully agree.
Yeah.
That's what I'd be going with.
That sounds about right. It does sound, that sounds a very balanced. And I agree with you with Kulu on the right too, because you can put Brennan Johnson out there. He's not proved anything. So you've got to put Kulu out there. Kulu's the one that will give you that. I've now sort of given up on Brennan Johnson because he's just let me down again and again and again and again. And you can't keep supporting a dead horse. And for me,
that term though, he hasn't looked. I've got to be careful how I say this because I'll get flat. He looked better coming off the bench.
Yeah, he did.
You know, and to me, today is a perfect opportunity to do that again. Where Kulu to me is by far the better option on that wing because, like I said, he gives us an attacking force, but he gives us a defensive force as well. And that's where I think Brennan Johnson fails us in this type of game, that he's not good enough defensively.
He goes
and
missing.
He doesn't close down enough. Now, the argument is he hasn't been good enough going forward, and I get that.
He has worked on that defensive side so far this year.
Yeah,
there was 1 or 2 games. Yeah.
If you look at when he's come on and he's been given that 15 minutes, he seems to do more. He seems to congest what he would do in a full match into that 15 minutes, going forward and creating some chances. And I think that's where we need it today. We've got to stay solid. We've got to make sure we don't lose the game within the first half an hour. And that's where, to me, Kulu is the strength. Bentancur as kind of that number 6. Basuma and Madison running the midfield. Kulu coming in. And then Son obviously trying to get forward. Hopefully Solanke's playing and he scores 5 or 6 goals today.
I just feel Johnson for me is, I agree with you, he's better coming off the bench. He's not a 90 minutes player. For whatever reason, he gets his 60 minutes. He's knackered. And he's young enough to last 90 plus minutes. But I agree with you. Get him off the bench, but start with Kulu. And I've been Johnson's biggest fan. I've been defending that lad for a long, long time. I still think there's a talent there. I still think he will come good.
I think he will come good. But today is not a day for him.
No, I think today is for Kulu and him to come off the bench.
Today's go on.
Today is all about not losing, and we cannot concede within the first few minutes as we have done in the past. And to me, that means, and this is where when we all go on, or when people go on about Ange doesn't change his philosophy in his game and blah blah blah, this is where he changes it. He changed the players. And the players play slightly different. Kulu playing on that wing means we are more defensive as well as still attacking. Whereas Johnson playing on it means, yes, we're pulling more attacking with the pace, but we are far more susceptible defensively.
Kulu also, when he's out wide, I think he offers a great out ball. He's a great ball carrier. You know, if the pressure's on, you get him the ball, he can get turned and drive you 40, 50 yards up the other end of the pitch. And plus, look, let's be brutally honest, he's one of our most sharpest players since preseason. You know, he's the one that's been putting it in, you know, feeding people and stuff like that. I think he's been absolutely brilliant so far. And look, I agree. I just think today, with Udaber and Johnson, I don't think today is the day where you go, I'm going to play them to try and play them into form. You do not take that risk today. You know, you have to go with, I think, Kulusevski. But, guys, moves us on to the right wing, right? We have to give, it's a huge problem area for Tottenham Hotspur. But I think we're at the point where we do have to give one player a run of 5-6 games in there to try and get at least one of the options we have going. What option? Are we all going to? I think, me personally, I would like to see Kulusevski be that guy, given that run out there. I think he'll surprise many people. You go back to when the first impact he had when he first arrived. He had Harry Kane up there hitting him all the time, you know, and that's where a lot of the numbers come from and stuff like that. And I still think, you know, with Kulusevski, even when he wasn't playing well in terms of end product, it's not like he wasn't putting the effort in. You know, it's not like he still wasn't creating chances for others. Last season, he created some of the most chances from open play, but never got any credit for it. For me, I think the biggest problem with him, you know, and I know a lot of people came frustrated with him out on the right-hand side. You know, he's one-footed. He always wants to cut in on the left and stuff like that. But he causes problems out there. You know, he causes more consistent problems than I think Brennan Johnson does, than I think an Udaber will to a degree. And plus, you know, he's got that lovely little floated cross that he can do. He's got a good shot. He can take players on. He's strong. For me, I would like to see him being given given that run out there. I think for me, Ange Postecoglou just needs to go, look, I've identified Johnson. It hasn't worked out. You know, we brought in Udaber. Again, he's a bit raw. Just give Kulusevski that run out there. That's what I would like to see. Soren, I presume you're probably in agreement with Kulusevski, and then we'll go down to the boys and find out who they want to see given that run.
Yeah, I think Kulu's got to start on the right. I mean, I suppose it all depends what players are fit. You know, I mean, we're hoping Solanke's. If Solanke's not fit or doesn't start, then I'm presuming Son's down the middle and the whole team changes again. But to me, Kulu has got to start on the right. He's got to. And make sure that side is solid. Full stop.
No, 100%. I completely agree with that. Just quickly, with them, we'll get the boys in. Davy Shire's gifted out 1 channel membership. That's gone to Laura B. Big yourself up, Davy Shire. Really appreciate the support, my man. Tigaro's given one out as well, and that's gone to Stefan Blois. Fair play, Tigaro. Absolutely very kind of you. Doing the Lord's good work there. Absolutely, I'm sure, you know, they appreciate it. And the Davy Shire has also gifted out another 5. Really appreciate that, Davy. And they have gone to, where's the fucker gone? That's gone to Joshua. That's gone to Ryan MacF. That's gone to Davo, which is not me, by the way. Colin Cross. No, sorry, not Colin Cross. Mr. Benji and Mike Davies as well. So, guys, if you are tuning in, please make sure to thank Davy Shire for that. Really appreciate the support, Davy and Tigaro. Really means a lot. And I know the other people will really appreciate the gift and the membership as well, because we do a lot of members-only content. And actually, just quickly, we had a comment the other day going, oh, this is you guys going behind the paywall. It's not. It's actually extra content that we've come up with to provide for the members outside of what we already do. So don't be fooled by little people like that don't know what they're talking about. But big up, guys. Really do appreciate the support in that regard. But Dermo, look, you've been a massive backer of Brennan Johnson. I think lately you sort of pulled back a little bit. But who do you think deserves that run out wide, out on the right-hand side?
You can't disagree with Kulu on the right. You can. It's sensible. If you're being logical, as I'm a big Star Trek fan, and Spock is always logical. Logic says that you put Kulu on the wing. But I'm Dermatron. I'm delusional. I'm a bit unhinged.
Delusionatron.
No, I'm not that. I'm just a bit unhinged. I'm going to say It's
just
hard
saying.
for. It's
Just
hard
say it,
for
Johnson.
me.
Just get it out there, Dermo.
No, I'm going to have to go for Kulu in the wing. Give Kulu a run in the wing. As much as I want to say Johnson, as much as I want to be, the odd one out, I've got to agree with you guys. Kulu on the wing. He's got to. He brings you that more consistency that we don't get with Johnson. Bring Johnson off the bench. Yeah. And I'm always going to back Johnson because Johnson will become a good player. There's a player in there. He will. Maybe he's a late developer. Who knows?
Could be his day today. You never know.
Could be his day today. He could prove all the doubters wrong, and I'll be on top of the tallest building, shouting from the top. I bloody told you lot so. But
he's already shunned you. You turned on him. He doesn't want your support anymore. He told me.
Well, he can go and sod off. I'm always going to support him. He's a Tottenham player. But I want Johnson to do well. And do you know what? Fuck it. Put Johnson on the wing. He is going to prove everyone wrong today and do what he does best. I'm sorry. I've got to go with it. Put Johnson on the right wing. Give him a run of games. He will do it. I know Soren's shaking his head. But
I think we're gonna change it from Dermatron to Delusionatron.
Yeah.
It's been that for years, so don't worry.
No, I get where you come. I mean, I think the argument in that statement is eventually he's got to come good, and hopefully today would be that day. But the problem, the problem with that is it probably won't be. And
see, everyone seems to forget Gareth Bale. Everyone wanted him gone. We couldn't win a game with Gareth Bale, and everyone wanted him gone, and everyone wanted him out of the club. Everyone wanted him sold, and then they moved the position. The rest is history.
What we're gonna. So we're moving his position to bench warmer then. Perfect.
Yeah, that's it. Bench warmer. That's it. Tweaked it. No, I think he just needs to. I think he needs to tweak something in his game, and if Ange can find that tweak and unlock that key, then I think we've got a player on our hands. Look, today you start Kulu, but I think for Coventry you start Johnson. You give him a chance. This is your chance. Prove to me you're the player we think you are. And if he does that, then against Coventry, then you're starting for the next game. But for today, it's so important that we beat Arsenal. You start with your more experienced player, with Skulu, who gives you that little bit something. But Johnson, I'm not debacking him. He will come good, and I'll always back him. Because Johnson is, I like watching Johnson. He excites me.
I think I'm after swallowing a fly or something.
That's me saying that Johnson excites me. That's just
Jesus, something went down the wrong pipe anyway. But Belgian Hotspur, if you go onto Twitter, there's a page called Frank's Football. If you go onto that page, he has a link in his bio for his store. And that's where you can pick up some great tops like this. There's other different ones there as well. So, and he constantly puts up different ones. So just go and check it out, my man. Absolute legend. Or if you're in the watch along, I'll post a link in the watch along for you, sir. Lineups will be out in 3 minutes' time. I will bring them up. We'll get the boys' quick thoughts. Then we'll end off and we'll get ourselves ready for the watch along. But Jose, who do you want to see outright today, my man?
It's going to be Odegaard, apparently, from what it's all saying. It's going to be Odegaard. Now, listen, for me, I think it's horses for courses. You've got to look. We've got players that can play in different positions, and I think with Bissouma, if Bissouma is out, then you need to make that decision, and that decision is: do you use Kulusevski in the 8 because in the centre he's looked banging in the centre, or do you put him back out on the right where he's as strong as an ox for you? You know, so someone like Kulu can play on the right, but can also equally play in the middle. And we're fortunate enough to have players like that can do them jobs. But to me,
is that a good thing though, Jose? Because I think it's a good thing from a manager's point of view or from a football owner's point of view that you have players that can play multiple positions. But from a player's point of view, I don't think it is. When I look back at the best players in the world or the best players that have been in the world gone by, none of them have been versatile. They've all nailed down one position and shone in that position. And it almost feels like that's what we're waiting for Kulu to do.
It may well be, because who's going to be your right-footed player? Sorry, your right winger. Is it going to be Kulu? Is it going to be Johnson? Is it going to be Odegaard? Is it going to be Son? Or is it going to be another? Would it be Mikey Moore? You don't know. And at the end of the day, and then in your midfield, is Kulu going to become an established 8 for you? Or is it going to be, or does Bergvall become your established 8 going forward in the future? It's a good conundrum to have. But yeah, I agree. Normally players get one position and they stick to that for life. But at the moment, horses for courses is we've got Kulu who can play either in the middle or can play out on the right. And probably can play the false 9 as well. We've seen him do it. But for me, I'm calling it the middle. So where we are today, and we may have our own injuries, and it could be because of that. And if so, then decisions need to be made. So it appears to be that Kulu will probably start in the 8 role today, with Odegaard starting out on the right. But equally, it could have been a toss of a coin. You could have gone for either, couldn't you? Really, either you let Odegaard play because that's his natural position and play into that position and gain momentum, so to speak, because he's only just come to the club and that. Or you go for your tried and tested Kulu, but then that would mean that by doing that, then you'd have to select somebody else in the 8 role. So decisions the manager's got to make. But equally, yeah, we've got a few players that can play out on the right.
No, 100%, 100%. Big up, Brandon G. Look, it's up to yourself, my man. Completely up to yourself. Really appreciate that. Just a harmless potato says, is that really true? Ronaldo started in midfield, then left wing, and then centre forward. Messi played multiple positions as well. Look, I could bring up players like Ronaldinho, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Harry Kane, David Beckham. Only later on in life he really started playing different positions because his pace, and that didn't allow him to play a right wing. But predominantly, they go to fame because of what they've done in a certain position. Ronaldo came to fame at Man United because of what he was doing out on that right-hand side. It was only later in years when he sort of went to Real Madrid, he really transitioned to up front. Messi predominantly played, under Guardiola, played the same position. He was put in a position. Look, Messi's a bit different because he was mainly allowed to sort of free roam and pick up the ball where he wants. But, you go back to centre-backs, bar maybe Maldini, no one's ever gone, oh, he's the world's best centre-back, but can also play right back and left back, and he's brilliant in every position. Predominantly, a player thrives in one position, and I think that is what Kulusevski's biggest problem is. We've used him up front, we've used him out right, we've used him through the middle. I think with Kulusevski, I think versatility is actually a double-edged sword for the guy. Yes, it's given him multiple opportunities, but players, especially now, they like to play in that one position. They like familiarity. They like, and I'm pretty sure if you ask Kulu, he doesn't want to be chopping and changing all these positions. He will want to nail down one position. And if he doesn't, once we keep adding more players to this system, he's going to find himself falling further and further and further behind. So for me, I just don't think it's good for Kulusevski going forward. And most players that reach the pinnacle of their game traditionally, I've nailed down that one position, and that's where they become the best in the world at. Lineup should be out now. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'll get them up, bring them in.
They're just out now, Dave.
Yeah, I'm going to get them here now. Just give me 1 second. I'll bring them up for everybody.
Oh.
That didn't sound good, Dermot.
No, it's, look, I'm going to bring them in now. I'll bring them in.
Oh, what?
He better bloody prove himself today.
Let me take that off screen. Let's go through the lineup and get the lads' thoughts. So we've got Guglielmo Carrier in goals, Pedro Porro at right back, Romero and Van der Ven at centre back, where Van der Ven comes back in today with Doji at left back. Looks like we've got a midfield trio of Kulusevski, Bentancur and Maddison. That would be Bentancur playing in the 6, Kulusevski playing in the 8, and Maddison playing as the 10. And then you've got Johnson out right, Son out left, and Solanke through the middle. And on the bench, you have Fraser Forrester, Jed Spence, Ben Davies, Radu Dragosin, Archie Gray, Papa Matasar, Lucas Bergvall, Wilson Odegaard, and Timo Werner. So that makes up the bench. We'll go around. We'll get all your guys' thoughts. Let you get your score predictions. Plug the channel. And then I'll go and get myself ready for the watch along. Soren, what's your thoughts on... Oh, actually, sorry. We'll let Dermot... Dermot, are you doing your live thing today?
Yeah, I am. I'm going out quarter past.
We'll let you go first, my man.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the lineup, score prediction, and where can people find you?
Johnson, please fucking do good. Please, for the love of God, please, just put in the performance for the love of God. Do you know what? That's a winnable. That's win. We've got a striker. I mean, when was the last time we got a proper striker? The defense picks itself. I'm really surprised with the midfield, to be fair. I'm really shocked with that midfield. I thought he would have put either Papa Sarr or Basuma, but maybe Basuma ain't fit enough. But I would have put Sarr in there. Johnson, Solanke's son. Oh, Johnson. I don't know what to think about that. But look, go on. Show us what you can do, son, today. Today's the day. Show us what you can do. Show them, put all them Johnson doubters in their place. Go on. Give me just some confidence, please. Yeah, I'm going for a 3-0 Tottenham win. I know I went for 2-0 on my predicted video day, but I'm sorry, I'm delusional now. I'm pumped. I'm ready. Come on. 3-0 Spurs. And if you like what I have to say, and if you like a bit of delusional, I know Soren's shaking his head. And Soren, I have to get you on the channel. You're always welcome, man. You can join myself and Tequila, Colin, and Boris over in THFC Till I Die, I'm a Tottenham past president and exciting future on Ange Postecoglou, where we'll give you a balanced look on the life of Tottenham Hotspur. I'm the delusional one, and the other three are the balanced lads. They keep me balanced. But look, if you want fun, you want a bit of a laugh, and we take our football seriously, yeah, come over. We're on the march for 2K. We're only sort of 10 or 80 away, so come on. I would love to get there before the next international break, but please do it here as well. Dave, thanks for having me on again, mate. It's always a privilege and a pleasure to come on to this show with you, brother. Always has been, always will be.
Thank you for giving up your time, my man. Really appreciate it. Everybody, please do get over, check out Dermot's channel, smash that subscribe button. Absolutely love him. Although I don't agree with everything he says, I absolutely love the guy. So, guys, please get over and show him the support. Dermot John, thank you very much, my man, and we'll let you go.
Yeah, listen, Dave, I'll give you a call later. I need to have a chat to you about something, so I'll give you a call later today or tomorrow.
No worries at all, my man.
All right.
Have a good
and
one.
Congratulations, Uncle Dave.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, if we win, it'll be great. If we don't, I'll be absolutely raging. But Dermo, you go and have a good day, my man.
All right, you too. See you later. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Everybody, like I said, please get over. Show Dermotron a lot of love. Soren, what's your thoughts on the lineup, my man?
I am surprised at Johnson, but I kind of do see the logic in the fact if Solanke's playing, Johnson's there to hopefully put some crosses in and score. If he's not, then we're going to really give Dermotron some shit. Look, the team is the team. Let's get behind them. We'll stay positive. We're going to win. I don't know what the score is going to be. I'm not going to predict a score today other than a Tottenham win. Where can you find me? On the bog for the next 3 hours. Full stop.
Or in where he is right now, with just with a padlock and key, no one else can get in and rescue him.
Yeah, it's going to go one of two ways. Either it's going to get very messy, or it's going to get very messy. Full stop.
Hopefully, very messy in a good way. That'll be absolutely brilliant. You might have to send out a search party for Soren if we win today. Jose, what's your thoughts on the lineup, my man? And what's your score prediction? And where can people find you?
Right, have we got the Arsenal lineup anyway?
No, we don't need that, Jose. They're getting battered.
You can look at the Arsenal lineup when we're finished.
All right, fair enough. I'm happy that Van der Ven's there because I think you're bringing the a bit like we had in the olden days on the Poch. You got your back five, and it's a settled back five, which is unfair for some of the players that are trying to break into that back five. But yeah, settled back five. Hopefully, with a doggy having more and more game time, even when away with Italy and got a couple of, he got a fair few minutes, didn't he, against for the internationals, which means he's building up his legs, he's building up his strength for the season. The midfielders, as I said that if Thingy was out, Basuma, the Bentancur would come in, and the likelihood is that Sarr wouldn't get picked because obviously he's not on form at the moment. To me, in all honesty, it really looks like a really attacking lineup, doesn't it? Really attacking, top-heavy attacking lineup. And, what's our motto? To dare is to do. Well, we've picked a line up there of really, really attacking it to there will be to do today. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. Yeah, it's a strong lineup. Again, Johnson, and obviously on the training pitch, although he hasn't been training because Johnson went away with Wales as well. He got a 90-minute game where I accused Johnson of never finishing 90 minutes last season for Tottenham or Wales. First game he played 90 minutes, and the second game he was a sub and came on and played the last few. So surprised that Johnson's in there. I've got to say, I'm surprised that Johnson's in there. He's up against. I'm presuming he's going to be up against Timber today, and I hope for Johnson's sake that he either scores or gets an assist or plays well, because the last thing you need is everyone on your stadium, especially today, being on the boys' back. And I just hope that the whole stadium support these 11 that are starting for us immensely, and also whatever we bring off the bench. Just the fans have just got to support everyone. Whatever you may think of Johnson or whatever you may think of another player in the side, today just get behind the team. Become that 12th man. Let's hear you be heard. Let's see you put the frighteners on the team that are coming to play against us today. Let them not hear the stadium.
Saying that, if the fans, if we had the atmosphere we had in that game a couple of seasons ago, people like Johnson are going to come out and hopefully play. It's when it's a little bit nervous and a little bit quiet. That's when it gets to the players as well.
Yeah. So for me, yeah, I think you're referring to the game where we beat them 3-0 and had Holding sent off and Son scored twice. And that was the most.
That game under Conte, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the most electrifying I've heard the stadium since the stadium opened. But
if that stadium's like that today, then players will play.
But I don't want it like that. I want it more than that, and that's going some, because if we can get it more than that, it then becomes terrifying for the opposition. It really does. And I hope that these boys, I hope the crowd push on these boys, and that these boys go on and do what we want them to do today, and get us them 3 points and take us into the next game against Brentford next week. So, very early on, Dave, I turned around and said, you know what? This is before all this like ooze in and ooze out. I said Tottenham could win by the odd goal. However, then I started taking into consideration the fans. I started thinking about it a bit more deeply, and I just thought to myself, there's no reason we can't win this by two goals. I think we score a goal in the first. If we can get a goal in the first 20 minutes, that will set up the game for the rest. Set up the game for the rest of the 70 minutes after that. We need to score first. I don't want to be coming from behind and then fingers in your mouth, biting your fingernails and that. I want us to score first and then take it to them after scoring that first goal. So I'm predicting the Tottenham win. You're not going to hear anything other than that from me, because I've supported this team for over 50 years, and it doesn't matter who we're playing. I'm always going to back my team to win. Whoever's playing for us, whoever my manager is, I'm backing my team to win every single game. And that's where I am. So Tottenham to win today.
And guys, please get over to Altel Cockerell. Big crew over there now at the moment for doing streams over there, Jose.
No, I'm on my own, but it's just that I get lots and lots and lots of people on, because you want to get different opinions from everybody. So it's just getting a lot of people on. And what I will say is, there's been a lot going on in social media and that. And for me, it's about time that people just respected each other and become united, because the one thing, whether you respect what whether you don't agree with what someone's got to say or not, at the end of the day, the one commonality, believe it or not, is that we all support and we all love our club. It's just that we have different ways of verbalizing this and different ways of showing this. So at the end of the day, all I say is that, just get behind everybody, because everybody wants us to win. And if people want to come over and see me and people subscribe to me, it might make up for me being ill and having to give up my ticket today.
Guys, make sure you do get across. Smash the subscribe on Altel Cockerell, one of the most underrated channels on YouTube. So make sure you get across and show them the love. And thank you for pushing through, Jose, today. You really didn't have to do it. Shows the commitment. I really do appreciate that, my man. In terms of my thoughts on the lineup, you're going to have to wait to hear me on the watch along to give my thoughts on that, guys. Don't want to give too many spoilers away. You know yourself. Don't want to be saying some of the same stuff as well. So you'll get my thoughts over there on the watch along. But Georgie Hill says, thought 3-1 earlier this week with Solanke. It's now going to be 8-1. No more, no less. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Irish Army. Come on, you Flat Cap Army. Big up Georgie Hill. One of the best hairs in, in the Tottenham fan base I've ever seen. It's absolutely luscious. So big up Georgie Hill. And hopefully, look, Solanke, what a day this could be for this guy today. Look, traditionally, if Kane or Son scores in the North London derby, we go on and win. But Son needs help. He can't be the only one that's going to be prolific. Today, we need someone else to stick their head above the parapet today and say, I'm going to be the guy. And hopefully, it's big Dom Solanke. That would be absolutely lovely. Big up Georgie Hill, and I'm delighted to see him back in the lineup today. I know I've been stressing the importance of a centre-forward all last year, all summer long. We've got one. Hopefully, he can bag the goals today. Georgie Hill, big yourself up, my man. And then we've got Absolute 22. Johnson destroys Arsenal. Look, again, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what the kid can do. I think it's a brave call from Ange Postecoglou. I'm going to say this now. There's nowhere to hide for Brennan Johnson today. If he puts in a bad performance, he's going to hear about it. He has to have a good game today. He has to put it in. And I also say on the flip side, if he shows up and scores or assists today, he buys himself time. He gets a lot of people off his back. So let's see what he does today. Absolute bore. Big yourself up. Really appreciate the support. But guys, for me, today, I think is now or never. I think it's make or break for this era, for Postecoglou in terms of going forward. If we win, I think we're going to go on a massive run. If we lose, I think it's going to become a very toxic place, this Spurs place to be over the next couple of weeks. And look, I don't want to be hiring and firing managers. And I'm sure the players don't want that either. So I say to them, go out there, put in a performance, not only to keep Ange Postecoglou here for a long term. If you enjoy playing this way, this attacking brand of football, it's up to you to prove that it works. Also, do not let us fans down today. You had people like me last year. I paid a good couple of £100 to get over there, get to the game, etc., etc. And you fucking bottled it and let me down. No time for that today. With their injuries, it's time for us to wrestle back control in North London. Under that, we're 3-0 under Antonio Conte. We should have pushed home that dominance and fucking kicked on. We didn't. We found every excuse not to. We've been given a golden egg today to be able to take that back and put it back in our favour. And now's the time. Also, it's time to fucking disrupt Arsenal season. Let's get after it. Let's go and let's get the fucking victory. I cannot wait. And then lastly, Davy Shire says, just bang on Kulu in the centre. Jose, bang on with Kulu in the centre. Look, let's wait and see what happens with Kulu in the centre today as well. I don't think it's a bad call. I think there's benefits to it. I prefer him out wide because I don't really have too much faith in Brennan Johnson. But like I said, let's wait and see what he does today. But guys, for the next few hours, no infighting, no I told you so, no you're negative, you're positive, blah, 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 blah. We're all fucking Tottenham. Let's go. 90 minutes. And like people have been saying, for me, the fans was a massive part why we destroyed them underneath Antonio Conte 3-0 at our place. It was toxic. We made it known that they were not liked around there. And they crumbled. They couldn't handle it. Rob Holding couldn't wait to get out of the situation. Who's that going to be today when we apply the pressure? Let's fucking go. See you back here at 1 o'clock, at 1:30. Come on, you Spurs. In the mighty hands we trust. We never stop. Thanks for your time.